How you doing, man? Every now and then. Every now and then. What was that?
Go on vacation.
Oh, what's that?
So I'm gearing up to go on vacation tomorrow.
Yeah, you get out of Dodge, don't you?
Go to Barcelona for a week. I'm so excited.
Morning. Let me start this recording now. Yeah. All right. All right. So you're going to be on recording. Starting recording now. Meeting. So top right all the Orange County boys.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
If I keep them all.
And then can I pull this up on the screen on the picture?
Cool. It'll still record from here. So just showing.
So if I do,
Just hit your monitor and then they touch that and then it'll take you where you want to go. Yeah. That's exactly right. And that whole
How you
thing
been?
gets recorded. Good, man. Yourself?
good, good.
Cool. I'm gonna steal this.
Charlie's been, oh, you want me to get off of here for
I'm
now?
gonna steal it back for a second,
That's
and then
fine,
I'll let
that's
you.
fine.
Then I'll let you have it.
I've had Charlie call me several times, so I know he's in there, working on it, quoting and stuff like that, so.
It's important. More they get used to it, the better off.
The thing that I want to do today is go over unit sales, warranties, and then we'll throw up the quoting software and go over questions that these guys may have.
We also now have access to the Gordon window, so I think we can actually price it out in the app now. So
Everybody has the capability?
yeah, I got it turned on through San Diego. I think we're the only branch that has it. Yeah, it's
I know
just
that,
out.
I know that Larry opened up mine in Albuquerque, and I heard that they did it on like a one-off thing in Prescott Valley. I see it coming.
Yeah.
Larry's kind of changing his mind. I see that coming here before too long.
I told them we needed it for sure.
Yeah.
But
I told Mark what I would do is I'll get these are the 535 samples, trifold, I'll get them one each of their kit. And then these are still coming. They're on back order, but as soon as they come to that water, I'll order 25 or 30 for you guys. And we'll go strictly go over the one, everything with the new fusion frames.
I'm gonna bring his little boys room before I get over
Was
here.
there anything, see if there was anything I missed? I started putting it Okay, Norman, so I have some.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Not too bad.
A
Yourself?
little bit of rain in San Diego this morning, heading down from North County,
Okay. Did you, just get back from vacation?
No, going tomorrow.
You're gone.
Going tomorrow.
You're going to Spain or something? Never been there?
Three of my kids and a boyfriend and girlfriend 7 months ago. Fly from LAX to Switzerland, to Barcelona. And then we have a little Airbnb in the center of town. Just spend a couple days throughout the whole team. It's gonna be just exciting, relaxing, hopefully.
Yeah, I've been there like 3 times. to
Okay.
Barcelona.
I've heard a lot of good things. A lot of people- I heard somebody this year kept getting tickets and it made it or show it, see it inside.
I was in there years ago.
I just want to see the structure of it. It's just the outside. Saturday next week. Olivia, flying over there for a day trip, 7 a.m. and 10 p.m. flight back and forth.
Yeah, it's nice area. One thing about Spain, I mean, every meal.
Heck, I know, when family
Every meal. Like here, they bring bread over there. They bring all of them bread. Okay.
Thanks for always helping me. Hey, someone on the door for you yesterday.
Good. It's gonna be February. Oh, it's so, but it's very different thing.
I'm in a lot.
And especially if you're doing
We were demoing different.
And plus, yeah, exactly.
I would say
Not everybody knows and where are you planning on that?
Tuesdays or Thursdays.
When I first started 5 years ago. But yeah, it's more and more.
Good morning, Orange County boys.
Good morning, Dustin.
I did my first training 2 weeks ago with the Phoenix Raiders. And last week I was in with Coastal Valley. Done a couple of trainings with the Orange County guys. When they call me, have you been to Phoenix? Yeah. Matt Mark and Tucson, and Ron Kelly. And then Keller. Oh, okay. Nice. And they had reps that I worked with Chad Clovis just for a while before I went up to Vegas and then came back down. A couple other guys came over from Army, so.
Yeah, you got Billy.
That's good.
So
Let's
we
come
have
over.
videos.
Let's go. First of all,
You guys, you know, you have for art approvals.
we do, we have Dave Domini as the account manager down there. He has some approval, but I think he's mostly in the field work. I don't think he, don't get me, don't hold me 100%, but I think stipulations.
Yeah, I don't care so much about dates.
But North Florida, yes.
Yeah.
That's field
Would
work.
you have him reach out to me? Because we want to get an office on down there.
So what I would say.
Actually, if I go in here and I look up his contact, I can actually show that to you. Okay.
Right now, we have an opportunity to move into Sam's Club stuff down there.
Oh, okay.
And stick with my son-in-law and I kind of manage the Sam's Club program on a national basis for home improvement business.
So I'll just email this contact and then I'll let Dave know that
What's his name?
Dave Devine.
Where does he live?
He lives about an hour south of Orlando, on the west coast, on the east coast.
So he lives down south of, so he lives in north of Fort Lauderdale. Does he live south of Daytona? He must live south of Daytona, yeah.
I think, I want to say a little bit.
Delray Beach, maybe? Not here.
And then I'll talk to Dave later today and let him know. Yeah, since you need to know what that.
Yeah. Good deal.
Let's, all of these, since all of these, these are all good apply to today. That's why I put them all on there. Okay, so I'm gonna touch on the first 5. Yeah, and then go over the SOP on measure, structural. Yeah, that's what I said. Thank you.
Was that the report guy Yes.
Hi, good morning.
Oh, good. We get to do colors.
Morning.
Yeah.
For Mother's Day.
All right, Mark, I'm going to move your message behind Keith. We're going to let Keith go through his stuff first, and then basically we'll get into our stuff. Keith, how long do you think you got?
We got 20 minutes or something. I just want to make sure I get all the questions answered.
Okay, perfect.
Do I have to get right in front of that in order for it to record?
It's, well, the screen will record, you're getting recorded on there. So
Okay.
basically it's
They'll be
kind
able
of,
to see it where, no matter what.
yeah, if you're moving around, they want them to see you, then you'll need to stand up here. But if not,
They can still hear.
yeah, as long as you pick your voice up. Okay? All right, good morning, everybody. Good
morning.
Woo, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Okay, so the purpose today, Jimmy's kid's getting an award this morning, so I let him show up a little bit later.
That's mine. I gotta go. Sorry.
Wow. Yeah. All right. So basically, anyways, here we go. So today we got an action packed. There's a lot of printouts in front of you today. I got very printer happy this morning, so you'll see there's a ton there. There's a couple people that are going to be asked to stay after for a few minutes. There's just coaching plans we're going to put in place a little bit today. Plus, we're going to make sure we review numbers. And then Keith from Provia is here. So he's going to take us through some items. If you've looked at your Provia app, there is actually you have the ability to do garden windows now on there also. So garden windows is something that we got approval through Albuquerque to let Provia offer us. And then he's got some items on some new doors and things like that he's going to go over. After he's done, Mark's got up, he's going to share his message. And then we've got today's content we're going to go through, which is the measure. So we're going to walk through and make sure that we are, hitting on all cylinders again. So to talk about the ugly and the good, So last month, April, we had, wrote 1.657307, $3,200 RPL, 29% close, pretty toilet. Basically, average sale 15,066. We're going to talk about that bottom, which is why you guys have a 3-day notice of rescission cancellation thing on there. And also, we're going to talk on a little bit about the ride-along report that the performance report that goes on there too. We netted about 1.217 and 27.1% close. Again, don't quite frankly ever want to see those numbers again. We're not going to muster on the negative. We're going to stay on what we can control. Little hats off to Ryan last month, 219,684. 35% close, $7,845 RPL. Give him a round of applause. Great job. Other on the list is Sean. He wrote 166,095, 34.6%, and $6,152 RPL too. So give him a round of applause. Some cool things for the month so far. So May 1st to the 5th. Right now we're at 311, 353. So good job to you guys. Nice weekend. Jeremy had a big one. Basically, Mike Pierce had a big one in there too. 33.9% close so far. Average sale 17,297. RPL 4385. So good job. Rescissions are at 0. Want to keep it that way. Some hats off. Jeremy starting out 93,788, which is a great job so far. Mr. Mike Pierce 87,965. Great job, my man. These people are on track to hit bonus already. So we got Scott to 28,880. Good job, my man. Mr. Charlie Brown's at 25,168. Way to represent OC. Basically, Dan's at 24,014. So again, all the people right through there are on track to at least hit the minimum bonus. So good job, guys. Close percentage-wise, Mr. Sean, 67%. Good job, brother. As usual, very consistent. Basically, Scott Walker's at 60%. Good job, my man. Mike Pierce is at 40. Good job. Mr. Charlie Brown's at 40. Good job, brother. Dan Lewis is at 40. Nice job. Jeremy's at 33. Good job, my man. And then Ron's at 33 too. So good job to Ron. So with that said, he's I'm not actually sure. So let's see if that's good news or not. So again, when we get right through here, basically we're going to give Keith the floor, and then we'll go back into our normal routine after he's done. With that said, give Keith a round of applause.
Morning.
Morning.
I've got 3 things I want to cover, and then we're going to do a Q&A at the end just to make sure you guys have all your questions answered. We're going to go over unit sales for year-to-date, last 12 months at this location, and then year-to-date and last 12 for the whole company. And then I want to go over warranties, some sizing issues, the fusion frame, and then we'll open it up for Q&A. There's your unit sales year to date. 12. You guys are better than that. And again, like Dustin said, we're not going to harp on the negative, but I know that we're better at that. When I mean unit sales, it's talking about a double door is 2 units. So last year we did 19, this year we did 12. Those are our last 12 months. 34 units in the last 12 months versus 53. And look at the accounts in steel. Obviously more steel than fiberglass. There's more sizing options in steel, better price point, and then different styles. Year-to-date company-wide. Just right at flat.
What's company-wide? Is that RVA? Is that Provia?
No. This is just talking about Green Star.
I mean, green stuff.
Just here in South, all locations, which we now have a new Phoenix branch, Orange County branch. The ones that I cover would be Tucson, Phoenix, Prescott Valley here in Orange County. And then they have Albuquerque, and did they have doors in Denver or no? Not yet. I'm not sure, but this is company-wide. This is the last 12 months in company-wide. So down a little bit, but we can definitely go up. Now we're going to get into sales by user, units by user. Sorry, that was company-wide, my bad. I was mistaken. I thought that looked low. 778 units in the last 12 months. And by far, the most productive branch is Albuquerque, out of all locations, just per location. This is year to date, here only. Mike's got 7, Sean's got 6, Heather's got 5. And then we go to the last 12 months here. Jeremy's got 35. And on down the line. Unit counts meaning a double door is 2, a double door with a side light would be 3 units. And that accounts for, that's unit sales. You made the list, good job.
Second, behind Jeremy, please no. Second, behind.
Now look at year-to-date company-wide. Somebody's pretty on fire in Albuquerque. 45 units year-to-date. Orange County, can you hear me? Keep walking away from the. And now we look at the last 12 months. 88, 85. And people say, no, I can never sell 88 units in a year. Why don't we break it down per week? Single door a week is already 52. It's not that difficult when you break it down. You're in what, 10 to 15 homes a week, maybe more? Maybe more? I don't know. I'm throwing out a number. But when we really break it down per visit, it's not that much. And we're not talking about front entry doors every single time. Side garage door, that frame is rotting and the paint's peeling every single time. House to garage, back patio. There's so many different holes that we can fill other than just the front entry door. And I want to do a shout out to Charlie in Orange County. He's been calling me, so I know he's in the house talking about Provia. He's in the app building it because he's calling me. So kudos to you, Charlie. Here's your company-wide most popular styles. So your 460 is a full light, just like this door on the side over here. Full glass, legacy steel, most popular. 460, then it goes to 006, which is a 6-panel, and then a 430, which is half glass. Those styles are not that difficult. They're available in most sizes. You can go down to a 30-inch door, and you can get a 430 or a 460. And then you have your glass DLA. This is a little bit misleading because even if you put decorative glass in your door, it still comes with DLA. So that's going to show up whether you put decorative glass in there or not. That makes sense? It's not always just DLA, dual OER going. Sometimes it has decorative glass, which will also include DLA. There's your most popular colors. Way more snow mist than anything else. Which I think has a lot to do with some of our hot climates, Tucson, Phoenix, Albuquerque. You're going to go with a light color when it comes to doors. Any questions on the unit counts that we went over? So let's talk a second about warranties. So the Heritage fiberglass door, our most popular fiberglass door, comes in cherry, mahogany, oak, knotty alder, or fir, and smooth. A lifetime warranty on that door slab. If that door slab warps more than an 1/8 inch, we're going to replace it for free for first and second homeowners. Transferable one time. The finish on a Signet door, whether you stain it or paint it, is 10 years. We guarantee that stain or clear coat on the top of that door will not chip or peel. You're not going to find it in the market. You go, I use the box store comparison. You go down to Home Depot. The most you're going to get is a 2-year warranty, sometimes not even that. You have a 10-year finish warranty on that Signet door. Any one of the decorative glass that you put in there has a lifetime accidental glass breakage and seal failure. Meaning, a baseball, golf ball, weed eater with a rock, anything accidental, the kids are playing outside. If that glass breaks accidentally, we'll replace it for free. Again, transferable to the second homeowner. I think the warranties are important to talk to home. They're not getting this at a box store. They go down to the box store and they go ahead, sir.
Does the warranty change if you're within 2 miles of the coast?
The accidental glass breakage does not.
I'm just talking
The,
about
the finish does a little bit, yeah. I think the finish on the Signet drops to 5 years and the Legacy Steel drops to 4 or something like that. But the accidental glass breakage and seal failure does not change. And the other thing that people, homeowners don't realize, let's take the box store door, for example. They're taking a slab, let's say the Therma-Tru slab, comes over to the pre-hanger. He's hanging onto his frame. Now, and then they're sending it to Home Depot. Now somebody has to paint it. With Provia, everything is done in-house. We put our own slab into our own frame, pre-finish it, put our hardware on, put it in a box, and ship it directly to here. The blame game starts when you start trying to get a warranty from a box store. Wasn't my fault. You call me, send me a picture, warranty is done. Send you a new product. Heritage and Legacy Steel, both have a lifetime warranty on the slab. All 3 of these doors, anytime that slab bows, warps more than an 1/8 inch, we'll replace it for free. Double lifetime. Heritage and Legacy both have a 7-year finish warranty, paint or stain. Doesn't matter which door you put the decorative glass in, it's going to have accidental glass breakage and seal failure. Now, you guys are using Frame Saver with cladding. Lifetime warranty on that frame. That frame rots for as long as the first or second homeowner own that home, we're going to replace that frame. Great example is that side garage door. You know 100% of the time that paint's peeling and the frame's rotting. Why? They bought that frame at the box store and there's not an option to get cladding. You can pay them $5,000 and you can't get your cladding. You could do it yourself, get coil wrap and wrap it yourself, but they don't offer it. It's a wood frame, painted, sitting in the afternoon sun, baking in the sun. And now we've come out with the new Fusion frame. You guys have seen it on the app. It's Fusion Texture or Fusion Smooth. It's a wood frame wrapped in composite. Lifetime warranty, stainable now or paintable in any color. You've got samples coming there on back order. They should be here in a couple of weeks for your kits. It's an in-swing application. I would highly recommend, especially if you're doing Signet doors. On an in-swing Signet door, now you can color match to any color that we offer. Signet Cherry, they pick the toffee color. This will be the toffee color, a stain match. We've been asking for this for 5 years. Unlike a full composite, it's much stronger because of the wood behind it. Lifetime warranty on the frame. The finish on this Fusion frame goes with whatever door you hang onto the frame. If you put a Signet door onto this, this will have a 10-year finish warranty. If you put a Legacy Steel or Heritage on this, it'll have a 7-year finish warranty. Does that make sense? The frame goes with whatever door you're putting in there. But it's now stainable or paintable in any colors that we offer. And it's also custom paint from Sherwin-Williams. If you do a custom paint steel door, the frame will match your custom color. Signet we can do in custom stains. And Heritage and Legacy we can do custom paint. If they cannot find a custom color in the 16 colors, make sure they pick something out of that swatch, that big swatch from Sherwin-Williams, one of those colors in there, not a custom mixed paint, but in that swatch, we need the name and number. Keeps it simple, give us the name and number. 95% of those in that swatch are in our system. We just put those numbers in there and you'll have your, Sherwin-Williams has a swatch, it's like this long, that thick, it's a big thick. In that swatch, have the homeowner pick out a color with the name and number on there.
I mean, I would determine it's gone, but
They will absolutely do that. They will give you one in your kit, and you can take it to their door, match it up as close as possible. And you have a custom button on your paint section. If you put custom and then take that SW number, it'll spit you out a price. So you can get a price in the home as long as that SW number is in the system. Make sense?
Is that color powder coated onto the door then?
Correct. Correct.
It is powder.
Yeah, and we paint the door like you would paint your car. Electrostatic paint system on our steel, painted, powder coated on there. It goes through an oven, gets baked onto the finish, comes out, gets a light sand, gets a clear coat, and goes through that oven cured again. It gets baked onto that skin twice. That's why we can offer a 7-year warranty, and our warranty, finish warranty, does not differentiate whether you have an overhang, direct afternoon sun or not. It doesn't matter. Go ahead, sir.
So, in just your opinion, I know we're not going to hold you to this, but so that finish warranty and how I explain to my clients, that warranty is probably a door sitting out in Phoenix with 16 hours of sunlight on it. When it's in an application like here in San Diego, what's your guesstimate of how long that's going to last before they?
I've seen doors that have been put in for 15 years. I looked over there and put in yesterday. Take a damp rag and wipe it down. A dark color, a cold black in the afternoon sun, will it eventually, you can see the fading behind the weather stripping versus the door? Yes. But as far as that paint chipping or peeling, that's going to last forever. I mean, we don't just offer 7 years because we know it's going to fail in 8 years. That stuff will last a long time.
That's okay.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where the homeowner goes, well, I'll just paint it myself. Why? Why? Do me a favor and build a legacy steel door and hit prime only, and your cost deduction goes down by about that much. Why would you want to paint it yourself? Makes no sense unless there's some kind of crazy custom color that you have to figure out later. Makes no sense to do prime only. I have a box store comparison. And the reason I want to hand these out is not only for the box store comparison, but there's some features in there that, and again, like we talked earlier, about stuff you just can't get at a box store. If you go down to Home Depot and you order a door, you better hope you have every single measurement with you, your jam size, your swing, everything, because I'm sorry to say the guy behind the desk probably doesn't know either. And so what are we doing for the homeowners? We're building a custom unit that's going to fit their house no matter what their opening is. You can go jam size, you can go width and height, and won't extend your lead time. If you go down to Home Depot and you order anything other than the standard size, your lead time just jumps 6 to 8 weeks. Just because you changed it from a 4 and 9 to a 6-inch jam. Did you know that you can go up to a 13-inch jam depth on that frame saver and it won't extend that lead time by a single day? Won't extend it by anything. We're still going to ship you that door in a 3-week lead time. Why? That door was never built before you hit submit. That steel skin comes into us in just a flat piece of steel. We put it through that cabin slot machine and designed the door, hit the numbers, the sizes that you need. And again, the numbers on the right don't reflect exactly what, I mean, these are list price and stuff, but I know for a fact, if you go down to Home Depot and you get everything that we can offer on a door, paint, trim painted, hardware, door painted, everything, you're not going to get it for $1,579. That number is too low. They're going to spend $2,000 to $2,500 for a door that's still not up to the quality of door build that you guys are offering. This is something that the homeowners don't know. All they see is that sticker price, $500 or $600. That's all they know. Oh, that's like garage door, yeah. I mean, you know what? I'm just going to go down to Home Depot and I'm just going to buy a cheap one. Well, hold on. So you're telling me you're gonna put back in there what just failed? That'd be like walking into the house with an aluminum window with 16 colors going, here to offer you a new window. They go, oh, that doesn't make any sense. That's what I already had. But unfortunately, sometimes we let them do that with the doors.
You guys know the difference when you're looking at a door of a Home Depot door compared to what we sell? You guys know how to tell the difference when you're looking at a house and talk about it?
Wood on the side of the door.
You get the wood around the side of the door is number one, because obviously when they put skins on, they build a frame out and wood around it. They put their styrofoam inside and they crimp the aluminum around it, right? You don't finish the door from the box store within 7 days of the date of purchase, you voided your warranty anyways. Doesn't matter about finishing on the overall window, on the overall door itself. Secondly is when you talk about racking, the door racking, which is where in training, I tell you guys to look at the top left, top right in front of the door and show the gap, right? Because when you put a door, a basically rectangle and an unsquare rectangle back inside of there, then literally it's going to be wrapped. So you're literally replacing the very problem you have with the same problem that you have now. And no different. Only thing you're doing is you're paying to put a cheap door in there, which mentions it shows here, by the time you pay the labor, the installation, the hardware, and everything that goes on top of that, you're paying almost 3 to 4 times what the cost of that door itself is, right? And not to mention, you take those gauges you get down there, about a 26, 28 gauge steel, that's about a 35 to 40 pound door that you can literally just pick the door up, move it around by yourself, compared to these doors which weigh well over 100, almost 200 pounds per door, right down inside your house. You're talking about security, you're talking about longevity, you're talking about fire rating, all those different things. They all matter. And not to mention, 1 out of every 25 window installers actually knows how to install a door. So there's a good chance that 9 out of 10 installs you walk away from day one, you're not going to have a warranty. Again, if you don't forget the basics, you take them always back to the basics, then the door price is nothing. If you're sitting there selling on price and price only, you're screwed anyways. And again, you got to make sure you take it back to the pain points and understand exactly what they're getting so that they know the difference. If not, then all you're doing is you're pushing a price and a warranty, and you're not going to win on that because they only remember one thing. And that's going to be the price and the name of the company at the end of it.
I had a question. We had a question with the Tucson reps the other day, and Ron Kelly asked him, guys, raise your hand if you've ever had an issue on the back end. Nobody raised their hand. It's not our determination on what they want to pay for a door. It's our determination bringing the added value and the benefits of a door, how long it's going to. Most of these doors are going to outlast the homeowners that you're selling it to. They never have to replace. Oh, I'll just replace that door every 4 to 5 years. Yeah, that's exactly what you're going to have to do. Legacy 6 panel. It's your best price point. No glass. Guys, that door you can't get price compare. 24 and 26 does not compare with a wood edge. Does not compare to a 20 gauge all steel door. I don't care. There's nobody in the U.S. that makes a 20 gauge cabin slot like Revia manufacturers. Nobody. Oh, I can go down to Home Depot and find that door. Yeah, no, you can't. No, you can't. And until we bring the added benefits and value of this door, homeowner doesn't know. Don't know. Get that box door, get the installer to paint it, taillight warranty. Those taillights are gone, that warranty is over.
Not to mention, if you're not using the camera tool on the app and taking a picture and plugging it on their house and then actually changing the styles and designs right in front of them, you're an idiot. I mean, if you don't know what you don't know, but you're not using your tools, which means you're not making as much money.
Can we get this thing to pop back up and I'll show them what we're talking about? Whoops.
Just flip back up on here.
No, I did. It's connected, but it's not pulling it up on this.
That's it right there. Just tap on your screen now. You should be good. I'm not calling
There it is.
anyone in here an idiot. I'm just saying you're an idiot because you're not using your tools. You don't know what you don't know.
Okay, guys, when we're in the app, when you're in the app here, you're on the app. You're going to click the bottom right left-hand corner that says doors. Entry doors, going to click it again. Now we're going to go to design entry door unit.
You wanna take your sales pitch out of play, just do this.
If you learn this, if you learn nothing in this meeting but this, you'll sell doors. Mr. and Mrs. Jones, would you like to know what this door would look like on your house? Click the camera button down here. Notice up here, there's a plus and minus size. Fill that opening. Use the photo. Go to color. Sorry, that was on the outside. Your door changes and the inside stays the same. Up here it says outside. Now you click this to inside, go to the inside of their home and do it again. Now you have both sides of their house showing what their trim looks like, what their house looks like, and they can compare colors. Your credibility just went like this because Joe's Ladder Shack truck that just left, they didn't have anything like this. They didn't have anything like this to show them.
Changes your hardware, your color, your glass, the whole 9 yards outside of that app. And it changes your whole paradigm for your customer. One of the scariest things that people do when they survey like new door sales is they don't know what it's actually going to look like when it gets on the house.
Mm-hmm.
If you can show them before you even leave what their difference, options, colors, choices, take a screenshot, put it in the package, your paperwork, or email it to them right away, they're going to be so excited about that thing. It's crazy, right? If you're trying to get a self gym and go back to a previous customer you've already had, and basically you're trying to figure out how to get your art for the month, walk up to the front of their house, take a picture of it, design a door for them and say, hey, I wanted to show you something I created on the front of your house for you. I know you're probably not interested now, but sometime in the future you're going to be, right? You care about showing you what your door option might look like? Get them all excited about it. How about walk over to the neighbor's house and do the same thing? There's so many ways you can use a tool like this to help you benefit from getting more business, right? If you can average, another 8 to 10 grand a deal by showing them what the front of the house is going to look like, or say they're not interested in the windows themselves right now, but you can get them interested in the front door because it's one thing you walk through, you see is rusted or not doing what it needs to be doing. You can use this tool and get yourself into a different presentation when they might not be interested in windows. It might just be there for broken glass. This is a way to convert them into something which is going to help your pocketbook. It's going to help them too.
So working?
Mine isn't.
No?
Mine freezes up when I use it.
That's an iPad thing. I think you'd have to get with an IT guy or something on whether that. Sometimes it's in the allowable stuff in your settings that it asks you to allow the camera access or something. I'm not sure. That would be something for an IT guy to make sure they can figure that out. You have to come over to the camera.
That's exactly it.
I can open it and show them at all. Guys, let me go into here and I want to show you guys.
Over the camera.
Sure, I can, this is not hard to figure out, Keith, you can get back there.
One thing is, it's still saying the line.
They do. I'll get my,
Oh, yeah, right at the top of the page.
no, they can change that. They can go in and they can do a different, they can put a dream style on there.
And it says dream style, it says real language.
Okay, yeah, I'll check into that to get that removed. Let's talk just briefly about the garden window. So this is the one window that you guys are able to sell, that they opened up, the garden window. So we're gonna click on windows. Replacement windows. We also do storm windows, but anyway, later date. Window designer. Now, when you first get here, it's just like the doors. You're gonna leave it on indoor. Leave it on the indoor window and then scroll down and hit the specialty shapes, windows and window sizes.
I don't think they have access to any of that. I think they don't even have access to. What's that?
We don't have all of that, but we understand it.
What are you guys seeing on yours? I don't want to show them something.
They only
Same thing you got.
garden windows are the only window they have access to.
Oh,
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's
well,
just showing
So they'll show it, but we can't buy it.
like here. I mean, it only gives us these choices.
Just the garden window.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that's all
when
we're
you-
looking for
okay,
anyway.
yeah. You're just at the very, why is my garden window not even showing up? Oh, that's cute. Yours does, mine doesn't.
You can't sell it here.
I don't have to hit the, oh my dear. Boy, that was fun.
Or use mine?
Yeah. I don't get a photo of it, but
The one thing the one thing it will not populate is a photo. You can go in and you can build it to your size, and then you get a price, but it's not going to populate a photo. Here, let me get out of here.
Where's Covia's headquarters?
Central Ohio, about an hour and a half south of Cleveland, centrally located in Ohio. Thanks. And again,
Is that down Sugar Creek?
Sugar Creek, Ohio, about 35 minutes south of the Football Hall of Fame in Canton. And again, 35–40% of the workers bring their bicycles to work. Or some boogie Amish. That's in the heart of Amish country.
Keith, you're gonna take care of that RV thing.
Yes, yes. So you're in the door windows, and you just click on garden window.
You have to click on the show specialty. You gotta toggle that.
See what it says right here.
When you go in door, then you click on that little specialty windows.
You gotta
As soon as you
toggle.
click that, garden window automatically shows up. Now, we're just gonna go over to size. And then you're gonna click on exact size, and then put your width and height in there. Are you in the sizing tab? I'm gonna build a 48×48.
It maxes from what I learned to 72 inches wide.
Yeah. Max, 72 and under.
Max width is 7.
What's that?
Max width is 6 foot.
Yeah, because of the weight of the glass. Go over to the mulling. Why is mine still, it's still showing a window. Mark, it's not,
So did you jam that?
there. The mulling shouldn't be there. When you hit garden window, click off the garden window and back on, then it goes away as far as the look of it.
Yeah, there's no photo.
Jam depth, talking about the thickness of the wall. What it usually 4.5 or something like that, it 2x6 wall. It all depends. Color.
So nothing comes up under mowing.
No, it won't.
Okay.
It did before because there was a double hung in there, but when you go to garden, there's nothing you can mow in the garden window. It's gonna be one unit.
So as far as the garden window, the two side windows
Yeah.
can be active or they are?
No, they are automatically.
Basement or double hung?
No, casement.
Always basement. Okay, but the front window is.
Yes. Casement window.
Is it a, no, we're getting ahead. When we come to hardware.
Yeah,
Is there no hardware?
hold on.
Well, there would be for stations, isn't it?
So it's going to it defaults to white. You have a beige and a light oak interior, which is a wood look, or you have white, beige, or white or outside painted colors.
What does that light oak look like?
It's a I call it a peel on from the Dakuni. From the Dakuni or vinyl extruder, it actually it's not painted.
Grained in an oak.
Yes, grained in an oak look. If somebody wants a wood-looking window that wants to the price of the actual wood, that's where that would come in.
Is it for the actual frame of the window or just like
So vinyl, all the vinyl pieces will be in that traditional chair or in that light.
I don't think this will ever come out. I mean, I can't see doing that. Can we get samples of that, just toss it in our bags? So we have it?
There isn't samples of the garden window.
No, I just mean of the grain of the.
Oh, yes. Yeah, no, you got it. I can answer that. That's not a problem.
Yeah. Show us what it looks like. It's really hard to tell.
That's fine. That's fine. Go to glass. You actually have decorative glass options, or you have DLA or dual clear. I don't know that they're ever gonna do decorative, big DLA, dual OE argon. Do you want a, sorry, I'm skipping ahead the window now. Do you want a glass shelf or not? On this one in particular,
Sure.
you can do one or two. Yep.
What about the edge banding? Is that on the glass or the?
No, seat, on seat.
Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know about glass banding.
Where are we at?
What is it?
On the window, everybody tab over the window at the top.
Okay.
What's the edge banding gonna do?
Cover the edge of the seat when it comes out to the inside, it's gonna cover the band of the, so that's when that's gonna come. No, well, this one doesn't, so I will get Dustin, yes, I will get Dustin to kind of look at it. Go back and like off of your circle top to a garden. There's no click out of the garden window.
I'm gonna pass this around. This is an actual part of the,
Yeah, you do.
so just pass around and look at it.
That's the final window?
That's the garden vinyl window, yeah.
Is vinyl the only option?
Yes. So you have a shelf, one or two glass shelves, heat, head and seat board material. Again, get with Mark and see what they want to take and then double check how you guys want to. I'm sure if you went with a stained light out, you'd want to go with a birch veneer or something, maybe something like that. Or an oak veneer. White would be paintable, would be an interior white.
Were you talking about the head and seatboard material?
Yeah. The header of the plywood in the header and the seat, what material do you want us to make that out of? That's what it's asking. Oak veneer.
But if they want white on white, they just do white.
Yeah, correct.
If they want-
Yep. Yep.
So it's beige or white.
What's pine?
Where's pine?
Okay.
Insulated seat.
We have like a Corian or something.
So we should always pick insulated.
It sounds like
Put it in there, just like prices in there, and then it's kind of a preference thing. Yeah, I would put it in there for a price as far as the seat board. If we tab over to options, no, not your nail fin. Most of the time, you guys are probably gonna do, you think nail fin mark out here?
it's new
They're
construction.
gonna take the stucco back and do the nail fin, or it all depends on the application. It depends on the application, yeah.
Well, so if we're doing a reflash installation.
And it would- and it-
Well,
It won't be a nail fin.
there's no nail fin because we're not breaking out the stuff.
Oh, when you're,
Or
then it would just be none. Then it would
I would
just
just
So
go
we
with that.
I mean,
have
options.
installation, so options, we're at options now.
be. Mhm.
Okay, so no, interior trim accessory. What's that?
What is
That
that?
is asking about the,
Yeah, casing around.
and we're gonna get the casing right now. Tab over to casing.
No, wait, so do we push the button to get the casing or no?
Interior trim.
Yeah, click on the casing button, and now we're going to interior trim.
Orange.
And did I hear you correctly that all the windows are casement?
Correct. Yeah, no
So
double.
we can't get a double casing on.
Well, it's no, because it's like a trapezoid shape.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not a big.
the window is gonna be like this
So
shape.
does it have glass on top?
Yeah.
You'll see
There's
the
a
picture.
You'll see the picture, it's still around.
Yeah. direction.
But we always say we don't do that.
Yeah, we do that. That's why
Well,
we're
yeah,
not
does.
meeting.
Change it.
Lewis and RV was the best bid.
So this casing page is just like your entry doors. Just ask me what kind of casing you want on the inside of that window. If you want casing or if they're gonna be travel return. pick none.
So now this is saying that I messed up with a question mark at jam deck and question at casing finish.
Yeah, well, those you just go back to your side and get your jam down.
Where would the back bend go and what is it?
back end is behind the casing on the very back edge of it, the fat part of it. You never think. It's just a fancy exhibition. You don't do it. Just the garden window is extended lead time, but it won't stop. No, yellow means, he's asking right now, when he got to the finalize, it says 2 extra week lead time for 4 weeks. That's just telling you the lead time, and it will still give you a price.
When we do jam depth,
Yes.
I've never done a jam depth on
Yeah.
a garden window, so what are we're just measuring.
Yeah, get it approximate, is it 4.5, 5, put something in there, maybe check for double check. It just, yeah, I usually put 4.5.
4.5.
Yeah, yep,
Okay, so then when we press these blue buttons, how can we do
that's unfortunate, the app does not do that. That's why when you, the more you're into this and see casing finish, so now you know, you have to be open casing, what finish you want.
Oh. So if we do poplar, it's still gonna be wood, right? It's
Yeah.
not gonna be MDF.
Yeah,
correct?
no, poplar is a solid piece of poplar wood, but it doesn't really matter. If you're gonna do a paint, it's way, poplar or maple would be the way to go. Oak and cherry is gonna be more expensive wood, and you would use that when you're staining.
And you can like do some colors on dark browns, just make some extra use.
Correct.
Oh, I don't.
You're saying maple is cheaper than oak?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so then-
Maple is, poplar is your best color for as far as paint. But then oak and cherry for a stain, and maple would probably not, maple is more expensive than poplar, but I think it might still be less than cherry or oak. But your go-to is gonna be poplar for a paint. Yeah, most of yours are gonna be drywall return, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then you might just go to the top and say you don't want or you don't want casing, go to none, and then just do it interior trim down below.
Is there an edge band or anything?
There is that option in options, you can do it.
Oh, I'm finished.
Yeah.
So it's giving me the interior trim system, but now it's supposed to put no wood.
Go back.
Exactly.
Go to that, hit the casing one, but then you figure stop or something, if it's gonna be drywall.
I got you.
Any questions? And Mark, I'll make sure you guys get more of those.
If we don't pick casing, then what happens? Like it just bulldozes if they have bullnose and we just charge extra.
They'll do drywall return,
Do like
a little stop, like stop on the inside. Here's a picture of sitting in our warehouse. Picture of that garden window. There, see how they're talking about the edge banding?
Oh.
That edge band will go.
I just sent that picture to you.
So the interior stop is the wood from the window?
No, the interior stop would be where the drywall meets up to here, and you may need a stop to finish it off.
So then do we just add corner beading for that to add the price or is that included, Justin?
Corner beam for the drywall? Is that what you're
Yeah,
asking?
if they don't want casing and they just want it like, just butt it up against it, then do we add corner bead for that drywall? Cause if it was a bullnose, we put that in or just throw casing on it to make it easier.
I don't know yet.
Okay, well, just let us. If I'm not sure.
I'm gonna be honest on that, I can make something up. but-
No, don't make it up, then I'll have you and then I.
Let me think about what I was doing.
It's gonna sound good.
All right, you guys run across a fairly decent amount of garden windows.
No.
Actually, Orange County, and then we have been lately.
Yeah.
We just have been converting them all.
Oh, now you have to do it. That's good. That's good. And you know what, there's gonna come a day where
Only
we
got
have
93 band.
capability of selling more vinyl. Anyway, that's it.
Keith, if we opt for 1 or 2 shelves, what's that gonna look like in there? Because you got casement windows on the side.
It's gonna look very busy.
See the little
Yeah,
corner,
it's very busy.
see the little corner brackets here?
Yeah.
It's gonna be, if you pick one, it's gonna be in the center of here, and you still can get down to your cranks to crank out your window.
How deep is it?
I wanna say there, it doesn't, I don't think it comes all the way out to the outside of this window. I wanna say it's 8 or 10 inch shelf, just to put a little bit of knickknack to decorate it up a little bit.
Is there like a tech inspect on that anywhere? Like, I had somebody ask me a question about it and I
As far as a different measure, I can find out from customer service if we have anything.
As far as the slope on the top, I mean, is this just a universal kind of, I mean, like if somebody wants a bigger window and less of a slope?
No,
It's
so
just.
it's universal and your picture window just goes up. So the slope's gonna stay the same as raise up.
What's the slope on that, do you know?
I don't know, I do not.
It's like almost
It's
like
6-12 inch.
6 inches per foot.
45 degrees.
It's not 45. Yeah, but I don't know for sure.
Pizza Baker's doesn't.
220 wood, whatever it takes.
It's Pizza Baker's doesn't.
Does that make sense as far as going in there and being able to build it? And again, this can be added onto your door. Your entry door, you go in and add a new item to the order, and now you just go in the windows, and now you have it on the same order number, interlink number, as you do all the doors, and they just, they're all the same. Yeah, I'll double check that. I'll make sure I'll tell you something quick.
That's cool.
Anything else? Anything in entry doors that you're running into that we can cover today? When you're in there building it? Go ahead.
I know, it's always the same question. I swear, Brian and I don't like I do. Help me. No, you're the same freaking problem as me, man.
All of a sudden, your screen pops up there?
So help me understand. It measures 60. So now I have to go to the 59 and a half and I get one choice. And of course, they want the blah, 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 which we don't have.
Yes.
The 60s.
Double 60, she's talking about a French door.
So
And
just
yes,
tell me my choices, so I just tell them this is all, because that's like.
okay. Have you seen the 60, 59 and a half inch button?
That's exactly why I'm asking.
Okay, that's available in a Signet. Doesn't have to be steel, now they can stain it. It's available in a 430, but it's a more, let me show you what I'm talking about.
Because remember last meeting, you were gonna send us, here's your choices in it. Remember the boy was back there, and he said, we'll get that to you,
Yeah.
because you're the only one.
Yes, and this is it.
Okay.
This is it. So when you select 60, 59 and a half inch width by 80, and you go over to style, you now have a Signet door available in a 60. Before, Signet doors were not made in a 30 inch door. We've come up with a 30 inch 460 style that you can now do in a more pleasing look than just the Legacy steel. Is it a whole bunch of different styles? No, but it is a new option. So when you go to color,
It's the only one that's coming up as Signet.
yeah, in that particular number, when you click that 60, that 59 and a half. Let me show you another thing. When you guys pick let's say you picked
This is our option.
Yeah, I know.
This is the only option. Thank you for coming. You better just-
for 60 inch doors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you build them, they're gonna go fatter, and then they're not gonna fit. And then they have to remove the jammer thing on the side.
So we can know about that.
Well, you can build this one
Okay, show me.
Thanks.
So I can build which one.
and build that one. 114. Well, you gotta go, I think Legacy Smooth. Go in the Legacy Smooth, 60 inch, pick a nominal 60 inch size.
So why is there a 59.5/60?
Sorry, I was wrong, I'm going to 60.
So why is there, yeah, that's a great question. Why does it always have that 59.5?
Unit size, because that Signet door is available in that particular number. That's the only time the number is there just for the Signet 460 door. That's it.
Just for the 60?
Because Signet doesn't come in 30 inch doors, But if you select on that number,
It'll get you as close.
it'll get you a Signet in a 460.
So only for Signet.
Correct. Now when you select, now when you go back and select a,
So standard 60-inch for everything, so.
like a standard 60, now you go Legacy Smooth, now you have a couple more options in Legacy Smooth in a 16-inch door.
So you can do Embark, Heritage.
You do Heritage or Legacy in a 60, nominal 60.
Why is it showing, why is it doing all of the options? It's really just Heritage.
Government program.
Wow.
Wait, what did you say? You found something else?
No, don't listen to him. 60-inch
I was telling you,
Legacy
this is
Smooth.
4 times in a row, and my door was too big.
Okay, guys,
Show
if
me.
you go into a 60-inch opening,
Yes.
you have one Signet door in a 460, or you're gonna go to Heritage or Legacy Steel. Don't talk about Signet and then build the dreams. Say, for instance, you're building this.
Measure first.
Let's say you're building a 72 by 80 in this right here. Right there. They love it. Decorative glass, they love it. Now you walk up and measure your door and you realize it's 60. Heck no.
No.
You have one size in Signet, one style, that's 60 inches wide, or we're gonna go over and we're gonna do Legacy Steel or Heritage.
So I guess the question I have is that, why is it giving me, when I hit 60-inch, why is it giving me Signet as an option and Embark as an option?
Great question.
Okay. So, but really, it's just Heritage and Legacy.
Yeah, because the Signet is not, when you pick a single door, and when you pick a single door in your unit, and you go over and you pick Signet, and now you go back to your sizing, there's not a 30-inch there.
Yeah.
So it's not an option other than that specialty 460 door. It's not available. Yeah, do they still show up when you pick 60?
Okay, I got
They do. But when you go over and select your styles first, go back and pick your sizing, it shows you what sizing is available. Now, look at the other thing. Go over to style and pick Embark. Notice how 96 went away. Embark is not made in 96 inches tall. Yeah, there's obviously some stuff you want to get familiar with and stuff like that as far as that goes, but as a 60-inch rule, I would say Legacy Smooth. You're gonna have more options and you're not gonna be super frustrated, but we're working on super frustrated. Yeah, not super. Go into your app at your house and maybe build yourself a 30-inch doors, single door with side lights, 2 doors, 42-inch door with a side light, in-stripe door with anything that you can now tell the homeowner, hey, this would actually build your opening. Are the Orange County guys even still with us? Are you guys still there? Probably put us on mute.
Still here.
Are you looking at this one, Jason? The one that has no window plugs?
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna go.
When you go to a 430, at the bottom of your door, it's gonna ask you, do you want an embossed 2-panel? Do you want an embossed single panel? Or do you want a flush? In order for your back patio pet door to show up, you're gonna have to make that bottom door flush. Now, when you get the hardware, the pet door shows up. It's gonna default to this. Let me color it so you guys can see it. So it's gonna default to 2-panel. If I hit flush, let's hit the 2-panel, let me take you back to hardware. Notice how there's no pet door in here. Right now, it's still a 2-panel door. I go back to style, change that to a flush, go back to hardware, and now my pet door is there. That's how easy the program works. It doesn't allow us to pick something that's not there. Say that again?
Unless you never do that.
No, of course, I get it. So then you just click on the pet door. Now you have to click onto the pet door. Did everybody see where I was at?
Yeah.
As soon as I selected the green button, click on the box. Click on the box and now it's gonna take you over to Freedom, only in white, or a Plex door in 3 different colors, and it's a saloon style pet door. And then your different sizes.
Which one
Wait,
is
so what kind of pet door?
Say that again? Tombstone, hold on. Hinges from both sides. It's like they're wider in size by about 2 inches versus the Freedom. And it comes in 3 different colors versus the Freedom only comes in white.
So the Freedom is the just kind of
Yes,
like a-
Freedom is the flap from the top. This is brand new as of February 1st. But it's going to make you select the Freedom or Plex before it's going to spit you out price. I don't know how many pet doors you get requests, but everybody has pets.
What's the warranty on the actual pet door?
10 years on the pet door. It's no longer an Energy Star product. As soon as you put that pet door in there, it becomes a non-energy door. But hey, they want to. What's that?
Size.
In your catalog, the other place to find your catalog is right here. Under brochures and videos, the very top here, entry doors, that is your catalog on your iPad. And then you hit the three little boxes down here on the left-hand corner. And now you scroll through like the catalog, and in the very back of the catalog, there is pet door sizes. And before we'd have to take a screenshot of this. Now you can actually go like this and get to your sizes. Here's the Plex door, 9 by 12, 11 3/4 by 16, 15 3/4 by 23 and 5/8. Here's your Freedom. Remember earlier we talked about your most popular styles are 460, 6 panel and 430. Those are also the 430 for the pet door, 460 and 430 for blinds between the glass, are the ones where the blinds will show up.
What's the door that has the operating manual?
Okay, that's what I call it the laundry room door. It's a vented glass. When you pick a 430, bear with me here for 2 seconds. When you pick a 430 door half glass, go over to the glass, the vented glass shows up. Because that's the size that it's in. Yep.
With a pet door.
With a pet door. There you go.
You can make that a double deluxe door.
That is
For
yeah.
one meeting.
That is a double hung window to it. It'll vent from the top down, bottom.
Don't have that in full light.
Not even that is only available to 430.
You're asking too much.
Yeah.
I had planned for that.
So what kind of windows?
They're asking too much.
Just a
Not to be
little vinyl window that comes
Sure.
It's a non-energy window, but it does vent. I've seen them on like the wonder on the exterior or even sometimes the screen. What's that?
Screen or not?
Yeah, full screen.
He walked me back, there was the little icon that you clicked on to show the catalog.
Okay,
Where's that at?
guys, what he's asking is on your home screen, we want to now get to catalog. So we have the catalog in our app. The bottom right-hand corner, hit your doors. Hit entry doors again. Instead of entry door designer, hit brochures and videos. At the very top of your page is your entry door catalog. And you should be, every single time in your home, you should be showing this steel door stronger by design video every time, especially in your warm-up if security is an issue.
Which one? Steel door starter.
It is absolutely an amazing video. It's like 3 minutes long.
How do we make this go on the little things? How do we make this go on? How do you make this be just part of our? You know, there's a button. You can go on.
Oh, download it, so it's already.
Yeah.
We can talk about it later.
Guys, for some of the newer people, there's also a really, really easy way to go into the photo gallery. And we have pre-designed doors that you can just click a button and it'll be designed for you. If you go into photo gallery under entry doors and pick Legacy Steel. Provia has predefined a couple different styles. You click to the left, homeowner says, woo, yep, that's what I want. That's it, right there. Click your button onto the screen and click design this unit at the bottom right-hand corner. Now, they were only looking at the door. They don't have a transom and they don't have a side light. Boom, there's your door. Done.
So, hey, wait, look at the picture thing on the bottom of it.
You still can take a picture of it.
Yeah, you still take a picture and plant that on.
I run into big problems doing this, big problems, because if you let them pick out a door that they like, sizing wise, everything.
They left it work with this.
No, you still have,
You gotta start this from the beginning.
You still have to
Start
take
showing
control,
pictures,
yeah,
and-
100%.
I mean, even when you pulled that up, there was a big stop sign on it, you couldn't build it.
At first there was because I had a transom and
Right.
I don't know what the design, what the stop sign was.
I found it's very problematic to let them pick out a door that they like.
No,
Building that, I mean.
what you're gonna have to do,
Handles don't
If there's a
transfer.
problem, he knows it.
what I would do is not hand them a catalog. I would measure the front door, build something, and then, hey, there's a couple different designs that we can go
I mean, that exact methodology right there has gotten me into a lot of trouble, with
Yeah.
change orders and losing money on these doors.
through. Cause
Because
it's
you
all,
can't, you can't show them a picture and say, do you like this, because I can build it.
Yeah.
Really-
right. Build your side first and then see what the options are to put in that class.
I will have to tell you that if Ryan's telling you not to do it, it's probably a very good reason.
I'm assuming install background or something.
No, he's got a trouble background. He used to be Alfalfa.
So,
There's a way to screw something up.
one of the things I noticed, and even with this one, you click on it, there's no decorative glass on the transom.
Okay. Let me go back and do this again.
Because I
Photo
had a
gallery?
situation like that where I was designing it,
Okay.
and we had it all, and they're like, oh, we want the same.
Now let me show you what I think. So right here, it's not showing up in the transom.
Correct.
But click on the red stop sign. Click on your product description. Scroll down to the transom.
Doors.
Notice how it says Lawrence decorative glass with patina caming in your transom, meaning it's going to be in your transom. It's just not running in the picture because of the size. If you go to
Because of
product,
the size of the transom?
yeah,
So if you lower the size of the transom, then it will show.
I'm not sure. Sometimes it depends on the size. It may be a custom width size or oversized transom that it doesn't show. It doesn't always show. But if you go in the product description and it's in there, it's going to come in the transom.
So you can always get the design in the transom.
Not always.
Not always.
But if it's not showing up in the picture and you go to product description at the very top, scroll down to your transom, and if it says rectangle transom Lawrence decorative glass, now you know it's in there. That's the sign that it's going to be in the transom, but it's not always going to run into the picture. Now, sometimes, depending on the size or the style of decorative glass, it's not available in the transom. Then you may have to go in and do a privacy glass and transom only, and do the rest of it in decorative or something like that.
So how do we know what the sizes are?
If it's in the description. If it shows up in the description, it's available for that size.
Where did you go, where did you
Okay.
click on to get there?
When you click on the red stop sign,
Okay.
the very top left is product description.
Yep.
Go down to where it says transom,
I gotcha.
and that is going to tell you whether that transom will come with that decorative glass.
Does you wish it is?
And again, guys, you have got, like you said, or you've got to practice. You're going to run up against stuff that you're going to be, crap, I can't get there. He's going to answer his phone. This is crap. I try to get back to you guys if I can, but for the next week, I won't be available. I'm going on vacation, so you're going to have to come up with somebody else to call.
Mark is so good at this.
All right.
You are so good.
Call Mark, guys.
No, I'm just saying, I'm just saying like.
She meant Mark Lance, but.
No. I have an issue like.
Mark, Mr. Right.
No, you're so good. Like in 2 clicks, you have my whole door. I'm like, oh, it took me 45 minutes. I should have figured it out.
Sometimes, and Keith, I mean, this is the best thing that I've done, somewhere along the way building that door, I screw up. And I just start over and rebuild the door and somehow automatically, what I did wrong the first time is gone and it'll price up the door.
Yeah.
So, and that's a lot quicker than trying to go.
All right, 5 minutes.
Yeah, no, it's true. And build yourself something at your house and go up against the stop sign so you know what you have to click out of when you get to something like that. Or so you're not going around in front of them. And you're not going to run up against a single door, 2 silos in a transom that often. So yeah, I get it that it's going to be branding when you're running up against something, a crazy unit like that. But the system is pretty user friendly. Point and click and it allows you to build it and get a price.
Cool app, for sure.
So yes, on that note, I will be on vacation from tomorrow till the 16th. Taking my family to Barcelona for a week. Super excited. I'll have on my voicemail and my email, contact customer service if you have a question. They are open till 3:30 our time Monday through Friday. If you're after hours in the evening, if you upload that to an Intralink number, they open at 5 a.m. the next morning. You can call them anytime after and give them that Intralink number, and immediately they'll be able to get you a price. That's the longest you would have to wait.
You can't get an Intralink number without.
You can upload it still. It's going to ask you, are you sure you want to upload it?
Can't get a price.
Can't get a price. But they have to have an Intralink number to take over your system. So
The best way to do that, guys, is build a standard door that size and add 20.
No, ouch, that could, whoa, hold on, let me stop you there. No,
And then
no.
Keith when it's wrong.
Yeah, wow. Let him handle it when he gets back from Barcelona.
Hold on, let me turn my recorder on.
Keith's vacation price.
I just said it, blame Keith when it's wrong. Did you hear that?
Pretty clear.
Record it, hey, record it.
Keith's
Wow,
fault.
I got it.
wow. Guys, keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate what you guys are doing.
Sell more doors.
Yeah, of course. We're in sales. What do we always want to sell more. But nah, you guys are a good group. And I can't always answer my phone, but I've had several guys in here that call me. And if you're calling me, I know you're in the home talking about it, and that's what it takes to sell doors.
Or we're getting better and we don't need to call you because we practice so much.
Well, but now it just has to reflect on the unit sales. So, sorry, bad joke. But yeah,
Well, it's been a rough first quarter.
of course. I know. You know what?
It's like a brand
Great
new
point. First quarter doesn't make a year, so it's all good. It's all good.
Or basketball.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mark, Mr. Moore, okay?
Oh, one more thing. I am going to get you guys all a glass trifold that has decorative glass in it. So I'll make sure that you guys have one for your kit in that, and I'll get those FedEx out. And I will get your RBA thing, try to take it off of that when you get home.
Thanks, man.
You guys.
Appreciate it. All right, thanks, Keith.
Oh, you're welcome.
Hi, guys in OC. Real quickly, I'm gonna go over a few things, but before I get started, I do want to take a moment. This is kind of a public announcement. Personally, a big thank you to Dustin. He doesn't know about this, but I wanted to publicly thank him for just an outstanding job last week, dealing with a enormous crisis that was unfolding. And without giving too much details, I'll just let you know that he went to bat for our company, for homeowners. He threw a Hail Mary and we were able to catch it on the 1 yard line. It was absolutely amazing because when you think of, and I'll just give you a little bit of background, a little specifics. When working with the PACE program, CalFirst specifically, one of the issues is a project must be fully funded by 6 months. If not, then the homeowner has to reapply. So if you've ever experienced that, you know what I'm talking about. Well, if what they were honored in regards to originally what they were approved of is based on equity. So let's say 6 months later, the equity drops, they're going to be approved for significantly less, which is what happened with this homeowner. Went beyond the 6 months, they had to reapply, and they lost $30,000 or more. off the original approval. They were not approved for Green Sky or other financing. They did not have any way of being able to pay $30,000. So this became a huge issue. And so no one was coming to our defense. No one was going to try to help us. And so I want to thank Dustin personally, because he made one phone call, maybe a couple, to the right person, gave the instructions necessary to get this turned around. And sure enough, they were approved for the full amount. We were able to get them to re-sign the docs. Everybody's happy. But I tell you, that was a huge stress on my shoulders because I was carrying that for quite a while.
Old Eddie wasn't helping out.
What's that?
Old Eddie wasn't helping out.
Old Eddie, yeah, he pulled it through, which was really good. So I just want, and I know we've all had these stories where something has happened and Dustin's been able to come to our aid, but I personally wanted to thank him for what he did. All right. So with that, I'm going to change it up a little bit. So I wanted to take a moment and just kind of go through some SOPs. I know we don't talk about them very often, but it's always good. We're already, wow, beyond a quarter into the month. We're almost into a third of, not the month, the year. And so I just wanted to readdress these because they do come up periodically. The first one being, sorry about that. So you should have this on your table. So DreamStyle Remodeling employee, due to our commitment to customer service requests for excellence, there will be a 24-hour policy to return phone calls during the business week. If you get a call from the homeowner, it is your responsibility within 24 hours to get back to them. Ideally, you want to get back to them the same day. If it's late in the afternoon, early evening when they call, make sure you call them by the next day. I usually, if I can't get to them that evening, I'll call them first thing in the morning before my 10 o'clock appointment. If they call you at 3 o'clock, I'm calling them at 5. So if I can do it, I'm going to call. If you put it off, that's going to create frustration, and you may have a situation that begins to melt down.
If it's before 5 p.m., you have to call the same day. Repeat that. Before 5 p.m., you call the same day. No questions about it.
Okay, this one, it's a rarity. I don't think we've ever, well, I'll get to that. All employees are required to report to the office job sites appointments at a specific time. The first unexcused late occurrence will receive a verbal warning. Second unexcused will receive a written warning, and then it goes on from there. If you're a repeat offender and continue to do it, then obviously DreamStyle reserves the right to terminate. So obviously being on time to these meetings, being on time to your appointments, you always want to be early. So good rule of thumb, don't be on time. On time is 15 minutes prior. If you're on time at the time, that means you're already late. So give yourself time to prepare. Then you'll avoid, especially with traffic, with the rain today. If you plan to leave early, then you'll always be here before the meeting starts or before your appointments. All change orders must be executed within 72 hours of requested change. So as soon as you get a change order has to be accompanied with what?
Commission adjustment sheet, even if it doesn't change.
So combine the two, make sure you get those. I believe those are all going to Norma. So make sure Norma gets that within the 72 hours. Let's see, number 4, if an employee is a no call, no show, it will be considered voluntary resignation. I only know of one employee where that's ever happened. Where this person did not show, had another personal engagement, decided to make that instead. That person is no longer working for us. Number 5, all employees will receive performance standards. So we're going to get back to that. We were doing it last year. Dustin was doing it last year. Haven't had a chance. We've been so busy with the transition, obviously new hire trainings and things. So we want to get back to that because we feel like if we can continue to coach, we're going to coach you upwards. And we're going to look at opportunities for growth, obviously continue to support you where you're doing really well, things like that. But we want to get back into that. So, and I don't know if Dustin, you were going to go over that in regards to the like ride-alongs. There's a ride-along form that we're going to start working with.
I'll discuss it.
Okay, sounds good. Next one is on the back page down where it says efficiency. Final strategy. Let me get that up a little higher. So final strategy. This is obviously while you're in the home with a homeowner. So if you're running a little bit behind, meaning you're at that third hour and you already know that you're going to be there at least another 30 to an hour, then your responsibility is to do what?
Text Dustin and let him know.
I would, so text Dustin's a good idea. Call the call center, let them know so that they can at least call the homeowner. If you're going to be late, if you have an idea how late you're going to be, let them know, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Call center will call the homeowner. They will go ahead and work with the homeowner. Hopefully, you know, they're going to be available. And a lot of homeowners are pretty cool about it. They've already set aside that time, unless they have some time constraint on the back end. But
So
typically,
the reason I asked him to talk about this came up 3 times last week, which is 3 times too many, right? And the people that do it know who you are. I'm not going to say it out loud, but when we don't give an hour time frame before the next appointment to call, that's disrespectful to the call centers, it's disrespectful to basically customer themselves, and it's disrespectful to me. The reason why, somebody could be setting, their appointment could have canceled. As long as I have the time frame to get, I got enough time to get another person on that, so we're on time, everybody's good to go. And if not, we're gonna run behind. An hour is adequate enough time to give them to make sure that basically it's okay if we're 30 minutes behind schedule at that time. Or we would need to reschedule an hour before, not 30 minutes before or 20 minutes, or basically anything within that time frame. An hour is that key time frame where nobody's gonna be upset if you're running behind, or we gotta basically be, you know, give them notice that we're gonna be late. And you'll know if you're in an appointment, rarely do you ever not know in an hour, if you got an hour to go and you're just getting through inspection and you're gonna be running behind, you know that an hour before. So remember, it's your job to set a timer on your phone. And if I don't hit a timer on your phone, I will write you up immediately next time. The reason why is we have to play political capital with the call center. And the reason why is not to be a prick, but it's to make sure that we're not getting a bad customer service name, right? We don't have second shots at basically getting blasted online. It would take us forever to remove those bad blasts. So again, we've got to be on top of our game, no excuses, set an alarm on our phone to make sure that basically we are getting an hour time frame on every single appointment. Make it a habit. I'm not trying to be mean about it, but I mean, we have to be big boys and girls on this thing, because we have to make sure that we're getting that adequate time so we set ourselves up for success, right? If that's $500 to $1,000 to pay for that lead, and we give them 20 minutes time frame before we show up, and they cancel that appointment, that's like taking $500 to $1,000 and throwing it away, right? For a meeting. So again, we have to make sure we're giving that adequate time so we can be successful as an organization. Does that make sense? I'm not trying to be mean about it, but I'm just letting everybody know, which is why I'm reminding you the very thing that's handed out when you start with this company, is making sure that everybody knows that that is in effect in full extent. So again, we've been kind of lax for the last couple months because we've been transitioning and whatever, but those rules are back on again. We got to make sure that we're growing the business in a healthy, productive way, not basically running scattered. Literally the havoc and chaos it creates 20 minutes before a lead is insane. Then you got to hear the call center gripe in action. Then you get a call from Don Dewey. And then basically, I got to try to find a rep to pick it up to find, but it's just not cool. So again,
An hour before.
An hour before gives me adequate enough time to get somebody to either pick that lead up or give the call center time frame to move it back, and the customer will be okay with it.
So just to clarify process, then should we reach out to you first?
Reach to me first. If you can't get a hold of me or Mark, then call the call center next.
Just so that you can see if you can reassign it.
If it's an hour before, it's a good chance I'll see if there's anybody available that I can get it reassigned to without even having to disturb the call center. If you can't get a hold of me, you can't get a hold of Mark, call the call center. Okay? That's what I want you to do. I don't want to put that on you guys. I want you concentrating on the sell. But on the other hand, if it takes longer, it happens. I want you to love.
I was one of them yesterday. That was me.
I want you to love the one you're with, but it won't just you at all. I want you to love the one you're with first. That's the most important lead, is the one you're with. I get it 100%, and I'll never go against you on that. But again, we have to get that hour time frame. That's very important. Make sense? Okay.
Dustin, the biggest
problem I have is that I'm in an appointment, everything's going smooth. Then I get on, put in my GPS, and there's an accident. I'm only to be 10 or 15 minutes late.
Well,
We don't have to call you for that.
you want to call the call center.
Of course, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, you don't have to call only if you're in an appointment and it's going to affect you being there on time, right? If you're on your way there and there's an accident, then yeah, call the call center. If you know there's an accident, Jim, you'll know 15, 20 minutes before. Then that's okay to call them and let them know if there's an accident and you're going to be running a little behind because of the accident.
Yeah.
That's fine. Only if you're in an appointment and you know you're going to be late. That's the same thing as a no-call, no-show, we don't call, right? So you got to make sure we've got able to set ourselves up for success and not basically leave it running my whole day because I'm trying to scatter and get a hold of everybody. And then obviously, if it's within an hour, nobody's picking their phone up. They know I'm calling for something, right? So again, make sure
Right to voice.
you sit, yeah, right to voice. Conveniently, everybody's got someplace to go, right? So again, help me help you, please. Other than that, I'll leave that alone.
All right, so the next SOP has to do with normal measure process. If you've been to the office, you probably have met Rosanna. Everybody should know John Wall. So Rosanna works right next to John in that little office box that they live in. Anyways, during work hours, you want to call Rosanna first, okay? Up to 4 o'clock. After 4 o'clock, and she's there early. So she comes in at 7, she'll work to 4. After that, then you got John up till about 9 o'clock. Okay, so your evening appointments, you're calling John. And then anything beyond 9 o'clock, then you're going to use that website, measure SD at dreamstyleus.com. And then just put in all the information list there. Customer name, best phone number, email, best time to call. So you obviously want to ask the homeowner what's a good 15-hour window, when's the best time they can call you in the morning. I would also put down structural engineering, HOA, financing, because they're going to ask that anyways. So you might as well get all that information in that email because that's usually what John or Rosanna is going to be asking you. Okay. Structural engineering. So this is a big one. We're really trying to nail this down. The reason we've already talked about this once before is now you have Vinny, you got Vinny, Scott, Ed, as well as the architect who's going to be really building the designs are all going to be a part of this meeting with the homeowner. So for us, we need enough time to be able to schedule with the architect. I mean, obviously they got a busy schedule as well. So you got a point person, that's Ashley DeRosa. So you got her number, her extension. So when you're in the homeowners, when you're in the house.
During the office hours, let me explain this because this is tricky, right? We don't sell that many structural engineering jobs, but we do. You need to call Ashley on the phone. She's not going to schedule the measure right there on that time, but she's going to, at that second that you call, she's going to get a hold of the architect and then make sure Vinny and all their schedules work together so we can get them out. That's why it takes 5 days to schedule a measure out because we can't just tell the architect when you show up.
Yeah, so in that situation, though, we should schedule an actual physical meeting to go in to talk to the architect and Scott. And
after the next day, you'll want to go in that morning and then just meet with them. And so you take your pictures, so there's no detail or no questions, right? Unfortunately, the contracts can't be that, it's hard to be as detailed as we want to be with the contracts. So, bringing the pictures in and explaining to them what the homeowner's expectations and your expectations are for the project is just better to debrief. It's not like you're selling one every single day, right? So if you sell, one a week or maybe a couple a month, then literally it's a couple times you walk in, they're set face to face, and all you're doing is you're setting your job up for success, right? If you can't get a hold of Ashley because you're after hours, that's when that basically SD engineering email comes in, and you'll want to put in there on it again. There's a detailed information I do want on the bottom. I forget exactly how I wrote it out. But you want to make sure that the detailed information is inside of there. If you're just scheduling a measure that's not structural engineering, then that would go to the measure SD. If it has structural engineering, then that's going to go to basically your structural engineering measure email address on the bottom of it.
And just as a reminder, for jobs that have structural, what are we quoting as far as an extended timeline? Is that 8 weeks?
It's, tell them that you'll get a better time frame from the project manager on it. Say generally what happens is our average time frame to get the product is about 6 to 8 weeks. But depending on how long it takes to get through architectural and engineering, sometimes that could take a couple months extra. It could take, just say anywhere between 8 to 12 months extra. So, or 8 to 12 months, 8 to 12 weeks extra.
Sometimes in 2020.
Yeah, but sometimes if you remember those time frames, I gave you guys that little printout. Using that printout to show them that sometimes it can take a lot longer. Like the very job he was talking about, took they had 21 different inspections on that project because they did different rooms at different times. So obviously that's going to slow up that process a lot. And it's not our fault. It's basically number one, how the customer wanted it done, and then basically how they had to have each thing inspected before we can move on to the next stage. So sometimes it's gonna take a little bit longer.
There was
It's a construction
inspection because of the financing?
No. Because where they wanted the work done inside of each individual room, before we could move on and start drywalling and different things in each room, they'd have the inspections completed. So it created a lot longer time span because what the customer's requests were, based on what they were actually taking us and they just let us work.
They treated each room like a piece, but like it was a job.
Yeah. The other purpose why we want you guys coming in and meeting in the morning, Ed's got he's got basically a contact that is an engineer, that sometimes we can get away with doing a basic engineering plan and save some money, other than doing the massive engineering plan with the architect. We might decide, we go in there and meet with Ed, that we don't need the architect to go out at all. We might be able to do this thing with the standardized set of engineering plans. Won't know that until you give them a chance to take a look at it inside.
You want us.
They take pictures.
Oh.
Pictures and measurements.
By the way, inside and outside pictures are required. Inside and outside pictures are required.
And inside, when you're looking at the top header of the window, where the molding is, or where the window stops, that distance from there to the ceiling is really important. Because outside shots, you have your overhang and your soffit stuff you can't really see. So that dimension is real important to see if we can have the beam in there, or we got room to put a beam.
Think about an inch per foot, right?
Yeah.
So when you're talking about the door around it, if you look up above it, making sure you take a measurement of that from the top of the door to the ceiling on the inside, the top of the door to the ceiling on the outside, or to the basically soffit, is a big deal to make sure we got room to fit the lumber inside. Because you're going a 20-foot span, or a 16-foot span, or an 18-foot span, making sure we got enough room to actually put a header up there. That's a big deal. Because it would suck to have the customer love it, you love it, the design's right, but then there's not enough room to actually do it. So,
72 inch.
Is there room to work and put steel in there, so if you can adjust
well,
that?
if you can justify how to get a piece of steel into the place, the house you're trying to get to. Whether we might have to crane it in or whatever it is, because that's probably, several hundreds of pounds.
They got a third floor
Yeah.
slope.
Yeah, it's only basically a 600-pound beam.
That's
No
what you
big
do.
deal.
Right over your shoulder.
Put Mike Pierce out there.
Okay, so that's really it. Thank you, Dustin. So one or two options. Normal measure, structural engineering measure.
So make sure, again, follow that. And then, by the way, if you're not one of those people that does the structure, that does the measuring from the house or putting those time and dates in there, and you wait till the next morning, don't forget to put it to that. I've been emailing people back now, when they just email off John and all them, said, no, it needs to be to measure SD. So we're starting to police it a lot more, so we need to make sure, again, that we're following the process, because the thing that would suck is you got a measure coming up, and then literally nobody catches it because it wasn't done to measure SD. When it's done to measure SD or that engineering SD, it gets funneled all the email addresses that need to see it, so there's no questions or no surprises. So again, we want to make sure we're all over that. All right. So. Lots of stuff. So next piece I want to talk about real quick too is there's a form, and the form is basically this one right here, which is your performance report. When Mark or I ride with you, or if you guys even do peer reviews, which we say you ride with a peer, this is a form you should use. Because as you're trying to help each other out, you got to have a basis, right? The thing I love what they teach is, you know, a process is the standard of mediocrity, right? A process is the standard for mediocrity. You don't know where mediocre is unless you know where your process is at. If your process is designed to create results, then basically your results that those provide would be the minimum expectation. The outliers, the people that are doing a little bit better than it, then that's where you should be able to focus on growing yourself inside of it. So in here is basically some way, again, just like it said efficiency side, right below that, in the Disney speak is no surprises, right? Should be left for birthday parties. So again, we look at no surprises. I wanted you guys to see exactly what you're graded on when you do have a ride-along. So preparation, clean vehicles with all items, or clean vehicles with all items, making sure that, again, your samples are clean. You have the things that you need to provide inside of it. You know, professional appearance, name badge, preferably on the right-hand side. So that way when they shake your hand, they're looking, you remember the only thing that's important about you when you're in there is your name, okay? On time arrival. You know, went to door with proper tools, not that you brought your window and all your kits and everything up to the door right away, making sure you bring only the necessity things like a clipboard, maybe your bags got your tape measure and things like that in it that you need to go through your inspection. Fill up before you pour out. You know, introduction. Did you take your shoes off, or at least ask if they want you to take your shoes off? Do you wear the booties? You'll confirm all parties are there. Set agenda. Avoid words, I, me, or my. Confirm time frame. Yeah, I didn't catch you on a bowling sock and I did set the right amount of time aside for me, right? Not wait till you're an hour in the presentation and then you got to leave. Again, set that up in the beginning. Did you explain the cost savings program? Promotions, how do they hear about us, right? You know it if they saw us by a door knocker. You know basically if they, you know, called off the promotion that you saw on TV, the discount, whatever that might be. We want to make sure, again, that we're finding out all that stuff in the beginning. Commitment to need. Property inspection form, whether you use it or not. Are you doing the things on that form that are important to be successful? Are you doing an exterior inspection along with an interior inspection? Did you ask the key questions? Did you obtain the commitment, right? Did you create enough urgency? You know, so at the end of it, we'll know at the end what the objection is based on how much urgency you created, and then we can give you notes and comments on it, or you can give each other notes and comments. I used to, in Dallas, have my teams do peer reviews once a month. They got to pick their accountability partner, and each one of them had to ride with each other and turn in this form so I could see more of an actuality of what was going on, right? Because the manager's with you, you might do something that's out of character, out of ordinary, right? You might not do something that you normally do. So again, we want to make sure that we're doing those things to make us better. Common customer questions, commitment to trust. It means that we basically get their questions and observations out. Did we explain the company? Did we do a good enough job explaining the company based on what their needs and requirements are? Did we explain the warranty? Did we sell the process? We talk about homeowner satisfaction. We set ourselves up to get the referrals at the end, to get those basically customer satisfaction things for Google reviews and that type of stuff. Commitment to trust. Did we obtain our commitment, right? Commitment to resolution. Did we remove all options? Meaning that, are they still thinking about vinyl? Are they thinking about fiberglass? They're thinking about all these other commitments, right? Did we remove those options out of that equation? Did we do a glass pack demo? Did we do a window demo? Did we explain the installation superiority of it, right? Did we tie solution back to the inspection? So making sure that all the things we're showing about the window that are important, are we tying that back to where it was important during the inspection, just like we were taught in training? Because if we forget to do that, and we don't address the fundamental reasons why we're there and why it's a solution, then we didn't really hit everything. Did we attain our commitment? Do you even know what your commitment is, right? So again, making sure that we get these things out, because at the end of it, we don't want to leave ourselves open. You know, did you reconfirm choices? Did you romance? Did you pre-close? Did we basically present the 1-year price with confidence? Did we attain the commitment to value? Explain coupon offers, means that we really make them excited about it. Review new payment options. Did we overcome the objections? Did we isolate the objection? Get to get? Did we ask for referrals or working agreement? Did we offer present day discount? Did we overcome objections? Did we button up the sale, which means that we close down? Overall goals, did we build trust? Did we build credibility, rapport, urgency? And there's just a list of notes on the back of it that we can take away to make sure that we're giving you rooms and areas to grow. That make sense? Pretty much summarizes the presentation, right? So again, it's just a little checklist that I created to basically make sure that basically when Mark's out there or I'm out there, that we're not forgetting these important action items. So if you're looking at yourself and you're buttoning up, if I were you guys, not telling you what to do, but highly suggesting it, if I'm you guys and you're done with your presentation and you're trying to figure out where you missed it, roll back down the list. Figure out and see where you might have fell short, right? Because again, most of the stuff is in there. It's just about making sure that you're doing it or you're not doing it, okay? To give yourselves a few minutes of brain relaxation, there's a few things up here too that we printed out that are just kind of goofy, but they work, right? You can go down to the Dollar Tree, you can buy, basic crayons or activity books or different things like that for $1 a piece, and you give them to kids, right? Kids are one of the biggest third-party objections that we run into, right? They can take over your presentation, they can kill you, they can get you off track, they can get the homeowner off track, their attention, they're vampires as far as attention goes, right? So just printed out a few things that are like little coloring books, right? Little coloring pages that you can do, putting them in a little contest against each other, or seeing if they'll do a great job and color you a picture. There's a dinosaur, there's a little My Little Pony, there's even something for Mother's Day in here that you can get them to color you guys something while you're at the house asking for their permission, and hopefully it buys you enough time to at least get some good important information, maybe get the mom and dad involved on the inspection, maybe create another one till you get down to the light presentation and have them get involved in the light presentation, right? Have them get involved into the window demo. Do those things which are going to help you, lead you towards the sale rather than away from the sale. That makes sense so far? Okay. With that, here's a little reset, and then we're going to get into talking about today.
To strengthen and increase your hunger is the one common denominator amongst the most successful people. I believe that's the single most important element that separates the quality of people's lives. It's not just to go to have hunger, but to sustain it.
The super successful don't stop once they hit their targets. They simply reset and go again.
Anytime you stop reaching for massive success, the next thing, you start settling in, that's when you start having problems.
The comfort zone is dangerous. When you're comfortable, you are most dangerous. You should never feel comfortable. You should be happy and satisfied. Most people are hungry to achieve a certain amount, make a certain amount of money, and then they.
Yeah, I can't read, so this is hard.
You want more. You want more of yourself. You want to make a bigger difference. You want to do something more than there is today, and you don't get satisfied. But if I ever tell you, hey, look, you know what? Just be satisfied with what you got. Don't believe it. Get it away from you. You should never be satisfied with what you got. Because to get more makes you into something better.
Only those that have given up on greatness would settle for average. We often hear people say, I just want to be comfortable. Don't let anybody tell you, hey man, you should be happy with, no. That is very dangerous to consider the idea of comfort. Such a comfort mentality is what sets entrepreneurs and businesses apart. It's what makes people great. They say, I don't want to be average. If you don't grow, you're dying. If you do not expand your business, expand your family, expand your life, if you don't push to grow, you're dying. And what you have will be taken. You should know it. Triple it. I'm trying to tell you something that is true, and it's true for me, and it's true for you. You can get anything you want. Be obsessed over your future. Be consumed by the possibilities. Be ambitious to never apologize. But the only people that criticize them are the people that have given up. Get excited, be excited, stay excited, and never settle.
I think, when I look at that video and I check it, like there's some things that get my blood boiling in the morning, right? Some things that, you know, it's like challenging myself. Because when you don't challenge yourself, when somebody else challenges you, sometimes they don't do it, right? I try to push some people towards getting better, and I unfortunately don't have enough time to talk to every single person the way I talk to some. But it's, to me, is, you know, when you wake up in the morning, your drive, the ability to know that you can make, you know, 300, 400 grand a year doing a position like this, and you didn't have to go to basically 10 years of education and get out of there with $500,000 in debt. You don't have to carry basically $4 or $5 million insurance policy because there's a possibility you might get sued because you didn't do the correct surgery on somebody. When you look at your day-to-day ability and your throughput of what you can accomplish, it's gigantic. And unfortunately, I can't stand lazy. I hate lazy. I mean, it really irks me to the full extent when people don't live out everything that they can live. It kills me. And the reason why is I don't understand it. You know, over the weekend, I went and watched a little excerpt at church, and it's kind of funny because it was screaming at me because I hadn't been in a couple of weeks. So it's one of those things that when I go in front of it, I try to pay attention to pull something that makes sense to me, right? And it's kind of crazy. Put out this thing. It says there are how-to books, but knowing your why is essential, right? So there's how-to books on everything, right? How to invest your money, how to save your money, how to sell, how to basically flip houses, how to do all these different things. There's 1,000 how-to books, but you ask yourself why, right? Why would I want to make $300,000? Why do I make $200,000? Why do I want to sell windows? Why do I want to do what I'm doing? Why do I push myself to do what I'm doing? Why would I want to go to the gym today? Why would I want to do 80 pull-ups, right? What's the purpose of doing that? It's going to hurt, not going to feel good. What's my why? Why do I retire at basically 55 or 60 or whatever I want to retire? Well, how do I want to get $1 million in the bank? Why do I want to have $1 million in the bank? What that's going to bring to my family? Why do I want a 50% close percentage? Why do I want a 40% close percentage? Why do I want a $8,000 RPL? What is my why? What wakes me up in the morning and makes me want to be better than I was yesterday? Or do I not do it? Right? I like hunting like Ryan, right? Why would I want to basically do a better job hunting, get a bigger deer, or basically kill a bigger hog, whatever it might be, that I want to do that's going to motivate me to be better, right? Why do I want to do the exercise to get in? Why does it matter how fast I get to where I'm going? So we look at it, you got to understand your why. You look at your family, you look at your friends, you look at your position, you look at Southern California here, it's freaking expensive to live here, right? It's really expensive to live here. You look at your family and kids and all those other things, and whether I'm buying a house, whether I'm doing what I'm doing, a lot of expense rolls into that stuff. It can put a lot of stress on. And sometimes having to basically find a why rather than knowing your why is two completely different things. The reason I say that is if you're in a house, all that stuff can weigh on your back, right? You can get commission breath. You can figure out basically, you can put all this pressure on yourself to have to sell, all this pressure on yourself to have to perform, all this pressure on yourself to have to make such a big paycheck every week, right? Unfortunately, when that pressure happens, rarely do we ever perform. Because when you're stressed out about performing, it's hard to perform. You know, when you're on a roll and it seems like you're selling and it seems like everything's just rolling into place, right? It seems like you can't lose. That's why I love this, right? It says you need to know your why before you can change. And it's so simple. We've talked about it, but it's so freaking true. If you don't know why you do it, and you don't know what your purpose is behind doing it, all you're doing is showing up and doing your best. I know I've said it 8,000 times, but showing up and doing your best sometimes isn't enough. Because what is your best and what's the why back behind? Is it to be the best? Is it to be number one? Is it to make more money than I made last year? Is it to find resources? Is it to help people? Is it to serve? What is it that I'm trying to do? Am I trying to make more money to give more? Am I trying to make more money to have more? Am I trying to make more money to live a better life? Am I trying to make more money so I can buy basically a nicer vehicle? Am I trying to make more money so I can buy a bigger house? What is it? What's your motivation? Because I'm telling you, there ain't nobody in this room that's going to tell you what your why is and why you need it more than you. And if you don't hold on to that, and you don't understand that before we start talking about anything else, then it's all pointless. Because if you're lackadaisical, you're happy where you're at and not where you want to be. You're not taking your level from a 5 to a 6, or you're not basically waking up every day and finding out how to get better. You're not working out. You're not doing the things that you need to be doing, or not doing things that are surrounding yourself with the right people, paying for the right audiobooks, putting the right things in between your ears, reprogramming yourself, then you fail. And you fail because of your why, nothing else. Everyone here is handed a gift, right? You're taught a system. You're taught a process, right? And that process is the standard of mediocrity, as we talked about. But it's what you put extra into it, what your why is behind it, that burns in whether or not. Maybe you've hit a lull. Maybe you've had everything, and you were down, and you lost everything, and then you kick back up, and you find this as a tool and resource. Maybe you think this is the best part-time job you've ever had. Maybe you feel like going out and visiting homeowners is just freaking fun, right? Maybe you just love it. But again, you got to find it. And the reason why I'm still talking about it, because until you find out why is more important than your excuse, you're going to find the excuse on why you're as good as you're going to be. So to ask yourself, right? We talked about the 8 hours, right? You talk about the 8 hours to change your life, right? If I take 1 hour, 30-minute hour, 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes in the evening, 1 hour a day, each day, maybe 2 hours on Sunday, so I got my 8 hours a week. I'm doing it, I'm exerting myself to make myself better. Where are my results? What am I doing better? How am I noticing it? What am I putting into it? If it's using the ProVia app, taking a picture and knowing how to use that thing flawlessly, getting in there and learning about Architect Series, Reserve, basically Impervia, all these things, and know my options, colors, and choices till I can't get it wrong. That's a big deal. If you don't have it, look internally. You've had the information now for months. So you got to make sure your why. Why is it important to do that? This is the major leagues. It doesn't get better than here. This is the major leagues. You've got to come to play every single day, right? It's a freaking privilege to be on the top of that board, right? It's a privilege to be on the top of the board. To be number one in this group is not like being number one where you're in a company where you're number one every single month. It doesn't happen in here. You can be consistent as hell and still lose. That's what it means if you're, I'm not talking about being competitive against the nation, you're competitive against yourself. Figure out why your why makes you go there. Figure out what your why is behind not wanting to fail. Figure out what your why is wanting to succeed. Remember, 8, 11 receptors of the brain are based off fear, 3 are based off gain. And if I'm focusing on the 8 and not enough on the 3, then I'm trying to just stay level. Remember, we try to exist. We try not to put attention onto us, right? We try not to battle because, again, it's against our nature. We want to make sure you're not focusing too much on the 8, which is preventing you from taking advantage of the 3, which is why they say 20% of the people make 80% of the income, right? 20% of people make 80% of the income because too many people are focused on the 80, not the 20. Make sense? And if it clicks, which is what I'm trying to do, is get it to click, then the results take off. Action happens. Things start happening. Big things come into play. We're not worried about the little things we can't control. Because if you start focusing on the things you can't control rather than what you can, it's a big deal. So Keith took a lot more time today than I thought he was going to take. But it's okay. I think we got some pretty good information. Now there's 30 minutes wrapping up rather than breaking into groups. I don't want to do that. We're just going to come out to it. If we had to define out the top 3 things that we need to pay attention to in the measure, right? What are 3 things that we would identify that are super important in the measure that if we miss, could make or break ourselves? What are 3 things?
Door width.
What's that?
Door width.
Door width. That's a big one. Get down to the end of it, figure you can't make it. That'd be a big deal.
Damage.
Damage, right? So finding damage, making sure you got the correct size. Those are 2 things, right?
Type of installation.
Type of installation. What else? What do you got, Ryan? You're killing it.
Condition of the wall and everything around the window. A lot of leaks.
Condition of the environment the window's in, right? Condition, whether it's leaks, whether it's sun beating on it, whatever it might be. Because again, if you don't light them on fire, there's no urgency, right? Urgency, or basically a presentation without urgency is, I want to think about it. I never make snap decisions. There's nothing leading me today to help to make that decision. So I've lived with it for the last 5 years. Why can't I live with it another 3? Why can't I get to it next year? And the next year turns into 5 years. 5 years turns into 10 years. Then suddenly they're not doing anything. I love that Eminem song, right? I love working out to, you got one shot, right? You got one shot, one opportunity. It's so freaking true. You and that customer are never going to get a second chance to make a first impression. You and that customer are never going to get a second chance to build urgency. You're never going to get a second chance to measure those windows out and give the correct options, choices, talk about the challenges, finding out what they feel is a challenge is, right? Letting them get it out. Like we talk about in basically the training. I take you through training. You know, we talk about starting to go in to talk what's wrong about the windows. And I always joke around with everybody, and I tell you out to start, is sometimes we feel like we really got something we want to say, right? So I say, picture being around your buddies. And you guys are telling about old stories, or basically what you saw. You guys went out to the bar the other night, and you all saw something funny. And what was going to happen is basically one of your buddies starts telling his story, and so instantly you peg in on a story you're going to tell too. And what happens is, the whole time your buddy's telling his story, you're not listening to his story because you're too busy preparing to tell your story. So therefore, you didn't listen to a dang thing he even said or she said. You just pay attention to what you're going to say, right? So what I tell you, if you think about that and how that's relevant in what we do, if you walk up to a customer's windows and you start talking about all the things that you see wrong with their windows, maybe they needed to pour out what they have going on in their brain. So they're not preparing themselves to tell you what they really want to tell you while you're sitting there telling them what you feel like is important, right? Because if you don't let them pour out before, and you fill up with what they're pouring out, before you go asking permission to inspect their windows, you put yourself in a disadvantage because they can't remember a thing you said because they're too busy waiting for their turn to talk about their own house. Second thing we can talk about, especially on the measure. How long have you owned their house? Never, right? You've never owned their house. Even if they've only owned it for 3 weeks, they've owned it 3 weeks longer than you, right? 21 days. They've owned it 21 days longer than you, 3 weeks longer than you. Who are you, off the start, before you let them tell you what's challenging and what's going on in the house, to tell them what's going on in their home? That's not your job. Your job is after they pour out, to ask them, do you care if I share with you? I'm seeing a couple things. Do you care if I share with you what I'm seeing? Great. Inspect the hell out of the window on the inside. And then take them to the outside. If you think you're good enough not to do an outside inspection, your paycheck is not that good either. Let me slap you for that. That's not a pull or a jerk, that's a slap. If you don't do an outside inspection, you're missing a lot of things. You're missing a lot of money, a lot of detail. And there's no way on earth you're going to create enough urgency if you don't inspect on the inside and the outside. Because guess what? 80% of the people, guess where they don't go?
The outside.
To the outside. Guess what else they don't care? You know the little vinyl quarter piece I talked about when I handed you guys all out when we were in the old company, right? The little blue flange on it. If you don't have one of those to take in there, you don't go ask to get back in the door shop and pull out your old one out of your old bag, you're not doing everything you could be doing to be successful. Because you have to be able to sell the difference. Right? If the old frame is the most important frame inside the house, and you're not inspecting the frame, or just like we talked about in the keynote or the Zoom meeting, about putting a level downside of their existing window, and talking about how things are racked and out of square, and water's running down and getting stuck in probably parts of it, just like a bad gutter. The gutter's not working correctly, and it's graded a 16th inch out the wrong way. Where's all that water going to run and collect to? Let me ask you, how are allergies inside the house? We have to make sure we're pinpointing those things. And as far as measuring, going outside and using your measuring tape to where it looks correctly, right? And not just going like this. Making sure you're bending your measuring tape out and you're working your measuring tape like a professional. It looks like a professional's measuring tape, not the Barbie one you got out of the Happy Meal, right? Or the Scooby-Doo one. right? Or the one you got from the Dollar Tree because you lost your right one and you've been meaning to get a new one, but you haven't done it yet, right? Making sure you got your level, your 1 foot and 2 foot level, so when you got to inspect doors, makes a big difference, right? Sometimes the tools in the trade make all the difference in the world. Sometimes your tools do. How many people do you think break out a level to inspect windows? Do you think you're going to get somebody's attention? Because you're doing something different than the rest of everyone else is doing. Don't swim in a sea of sameness, right? We're 98 to 99% of everybody you go up against is going to be selling the retrofit window. So your whole deal is to sell against that. If you don't use tools to validate your decision, create urgency by using your tools, show them the problems on the inside and the outside of the house, talk about what damage and challenge could be, potential cost of damage, talking about the sun that's beating on the outside of the house, talking about, like Ryan said, condition, environment of where the existing windows sit in. Is there cracks in the stucco? And if I glued a window, the old existing cracks in stucco, especially if you got that stupid corner piece, take it out there, open their window, and put the freaking corner on it. Show them. Does that even make sense? If I glue this to this frame right here, if I put a bead of caulk on it, I just slap this new window, and I have to leave the bottom open because I got to let water run out of the existing window in between the wall and the existing window itself. Have I really solved anything, or did I just put a Band-Aid on? Because unfortunately, most companies are taking advantage that it does not rain here, right? I know I talk about this a lot, but once you really put this in your brain and you really get good at inspection, I hate to tell you, the inspection is where the sell is lost or gained. Let me repeat that. The inspection is where the sell is lost or gained. And if you don't do a good job, I'm going to see it when you ride along, number one. But number two, you're missing out on so much money. Let me repeat that. So much money. I'm talking, if your close is in the 20s, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Hundreds of thousands of dollars per year that you're missing out on because you're not doing what you need to be doing. You're not building enough pain and urgency and making it make sense in a common sense fashion. If you're not using analogies, if you're not filling up, you're not using testimonials, you're not using pictures, right? If I were you guys, the one thing I'd be doing is if I had an install, I knew it was taking out old plastic freaking frame windows that were retrofit windows, I would ask when the installation is going to be and make sure they take those old windows and cut them out and have the project manager take pictures while they're being taken out. Get there. Ask to cut them up. Ask the corners. I just talked to Brody today. Hey, Brody, how many people, here's my question, how many people have come back and asked you for that vinyl corner piece sample that was taken, we changed out our sample? Oh, like 3 or 4. I was like, 3 or 4? Oh my God. I know like some people like Ryan carry a whole window with them, right? You know, I think Nick Johnson carries a whole window with him. You know, so we get some people that just carry whole windows with them. Even the corner piece. It's got to make a gigantic difference in your presentation, especially when you can take it outside and show them how it's put over the existing frame, right? And then if you're in a position where you can't sell a retrofit, or you can't sell basically anything but a insert, then sell the difference on why ours is better. Sell the difference on why the caulking doesn't matter in the warranty. Sell the difference on how our installation process is better. Whatever you do, make it unique. Whatever you do to that customer, make it unique. And I'm telling you, if they're telling you they've got 5 other vinyl bids, and you go in there and present vinyl, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. You're not putting yourself in a position to exceed. You're putting yourself in a position to swim in a sea of sameness. I don't care how cheap they think they are. The only option you have is to be different. The only option you have is to be different. After you've had them told you no on the Impervia window and the Duracast, right? Then flip to vinyl. Only after you're told no, then flip to vinyl. If they tell you that they're selling the house and they're there in 3 years, then build your case on why vinyl might not be the best option, and then flip it back on them again and say, well, if vinyl's the only option you can afford, you want to make sure who's going to put it in there you can stand behind it, right? how many times you do the project, and making sure it's installed is 9/10 of battle, because 9 out of 10 windows installed day one, walk away without a warranty. You gotta build fear. Remember, unlike I just told you guys to do, which I told you to focus on the 20 rather than the 80, people focus on the 80 rather than the 20. So you have to flip their paradigm, like I'm trying to flip yours. But you got to flip it back to the opposite and sell against pain, fear, and basic indecision. You know, General Colin Powell, I don't know if you know him, like him, hate him, whatever you know. There's a pretty cool thing. He actually said, I went to a keynote where they had Zig Ziglar, Colin Powell, Darren Hardy, a lot of your, like basically thought leaders were out there. And he said to this one very thing. He said, you know, America has lost more money to indecision than they ever did by making a bad decision. They've lost more money due to indecision than they ever did by making a bad decision. Think about how you can use that very thing in your presentation for your people that are stalling, that think there's nothing there. There is so much money to be made by simply using phraseology or keying people. Secondly, finding the reasons why. If I'm measuring windows and I'm through the third window and I know in the back of my head I'm missing something, this is not going to go well. If I don't do something to change my course, it's not going to go well. If I don't have their trust, urgency, and I haven't earned credibility during that inspection and basically measure, I'm not doing good. You know, because sometimes it might lead you where you're going as far as your measure by your options, by your sizes, by a lot of those other aspects that you can and cannot do with the windows inside of it before you start opening up about what materials you're going to use. Your material choices barely should ever come out before you start inspecting. The other thing on the measure too, the one thing I didn't hear is setting them up for the starter package. If you don't set them up for a starter package, you don't have that figured out by the time you're done with your inspection, you suck. And here's why you suck, because you're walking away from a lot of money. And I'm going to call that stupidity because you don't know what you don't know, but you do. Because when you're walking in, you're showing a $70,000 price tag, a $50,000 price tag, $40,000, $30,000, even $20,000 price tag, and you don't have something to fall back on, you suck. Because you didn't set yourself up for it, so you walked away from a ton of money. You should always start when you start out on your measure. Guys, if there's some windows that are giving you a bigger problem than others, please let me know. We can spend a little extra time talking about it. I've said that till I'm blue in the face. But again, it's got to sink in at some point. We got to set ourselves up for success because, again, especially if you're running a proximity or event lead that thinks they're a year or two out, more than likely I'm not going to get them to pull the trigger on a $40,000, $50,000 project. Getting to pull the trigger on maybe a $4,000 to $6,000 project, even $7,000 project, maybe under 10, might be a little more relevant for them, seeing how they weren't expected to buy anything for 2 years. Piss on your territory. Mark your territory. If you don't mark your territory, at least get a window or two involved inside that thing when you're walking away, or the walk away is nothing. Or you can't get them involved into windows, so now you start on the front door. The very door you walked in, it looks like crap when you walk into it. Instead of that 2% resale value of your entire home, the one thing that people, when they walk up to it, is the vision statement and the mission statement of the entire house. They won't even come to the inside, the outside, right? Financial expert David Ramsey said that basically most home sales are lost at the curb because people won't even see what the new kitchen looks like, or the new remodeled bathroom, or the new carpet or new tile, because they hate what the outside looks like so much, you can't get into the inside. There's so many tools, so many things you can use in your repertoire that will make you better. But if you don't use it, and you always do what you've always done, you're always going to get the same results. And if that's not good enough, you're not making the money you want, shame on you. You got the tools, you got the resources. There's a Zoom meeting on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Now, if you're under it, you got to be inside that meeting. There's no more Zoom for those people. You got to be inside of it until basically you prove to me that we want it. Everybody on here has to be closing at 30% and above. There's no doubt about it, because that's what we require. And if you look at your demos, you can't control those things you can't control, but we can control what we can. And the purpose is, I want to make sure we're not falling all over ourselves, because the measure and this little 30-minute talk we're having here is so important. This, again, sets your whole presentation up. This turns into an inspection. This turns into you setting up your starter package. It turns into you basically being of the price impression correctly. Define the need, the urgency, the want, the desire. Define their why, right? If I'm going to spend $1 hard on my money, why? Why am I there? What was the reason, if it's a traditional lead, that they picked up the phone to dial someone, a salesman, to come out in their house to help them with a window or door problem that was above anything they could take care of themselves, which is why they're trying to get an estimate. What's their why? What was the straw that broke the camel's back? Was it the wife on the husband's rear end because he's put it off so long, he tried to fix it himself and couldn't? What is your why you're there? If you can't answer that by the time you're done with the appointment, you haven't asked enough questions. This part of it, solely, before you get through that first window as you're going through it, is all about questions. You can ask so many questions at this point and do the best listening you've ever done in your entire life. And this part of it, before you start puking at the window, because when you get down to the window presentation, like when you get into that commitment to resolution, that's you all puking on how good you are. If you're talking about the company, that's you puking about how good you are. Everything before that is asking questions, listening, and after you've listened and filled up, it's designing and creating that need and urgency. Not lying through your teeth, not selling stuff we can't sell, but creating that pain and urgency based on what's going on with the house. Right? So again, there's so many things that are good about our business and so many bad things. And your whole thing is when you're on that measure, and you're measuring those windows and going through your styles and options and designs, like you're looking at before and after pictures, or going to Pinterest, or going to Houzz, or Zoom, or not Zoom, but basically any of these third-party places that show design details and configurations and differences inside of it. So you're kind of learning what's trending and what's new. What about colors that are new? What are you doing outside of meetings to make yourself and take you to the next level? Think about it. What are you doing outside of meetings and outside of Zooms and outside of that that's taking you to the next level? Are you looking at Pinterest? Are you looking at Houzz? Are you looking at Instagram? Are you looking at these things that are helping you become better and see what's trending in design? Because I'm presenting what's not in style anymore, wasn't in style 10 years ago, I'm probably not doing the best thing for my customer, right? If I know we carry basic panoramic doors, what pictures, what details, what basically YouTubes, what other things do I have that I can get in my repertoire so I don't have to ask anyone for help? How do I make myself professional? Because every time I got to get on the phone and call somebody, does that gain or lose credibility? It loses. So again, it's okay if you're stuck, but you want to basically do the research on your own a little bit too. So you can save and detail these things using your arsenal. I'm not trying to be a prick, but I'm trying to make sure I make it clear there's a lot more that we can do that we're not already doing. That make sense? There's a lot more that we can do that we're not already doing. There's 0 people in here giving 100% effort every single day. Okay? Including myself. I could be doing a hell of a lot better. So again, when I look at that, we got to make sure that we understand the why. Got to understand why we're there, what the meaning behind the appointment is. If you had to name 2 things when you were done with the measure that you had to make sure you did not miss by the time you were done with the measure, what would it be?
Commitment to need.
Commitment to need, what else?
Starter package.
Starter package, what else? Let's talk about, let's just keep going. What's other idea? What's that? Installation type?
The whys.
The whys? What else?
What the biggest pain is.
Biggest pain? What else?
Urgency.
Urgency, what else? Yes, commitment. What else? I wouldn't say solution yet, but we do need to know this, right? Even though all that stuff was great, you're all spot on, 100% spot on. I need to know my design detail, right? And my color choices. My design detail and my color choices are fluid there, because that's going to set me up. That's going to set me up too, when I get down to the end of it, if I can even flip the vinyl if I need to, if I can even flip from architect to basically Duracast. You have to know what your options, colors, choices, details are, and talk about design options, colors, choices, detail, but don't talk about what we're necessarily doing to solve it. You can talk about installation. You can talk about basically some of the things that are going on to it, but don't give them that damn Band-Aid too fast. You want them to ask you, well, how would you fix it? Well, you know, I'm glad you asked that. In a minute, I'm going to show you some pictures, details. When I break the window out, we're going to go through that. If you can hold on just a few minutes, I'm going to get there. But the important thing is let's find out everything that needs to be done first before we talk about what we can do to solve it. Because I promise you, you got to make it hurt. Look at this. Picture this. If I'm dripping blood on the floor, and I'm walking around the house and there's blood dripping on the floor, what's the urgency to get a Band-Aid? Now, right? Because I know when I drip that blood, eventually that's going to do a lot of damage. Right? If there's white carpet, that's going to stain and probably never come out. I have to make that finger bloody dripping, gross, right? To the point where if something's not taken care of, I'm going to need stitches. Something's not going to take care of, I'm going to get an infection. Something's not taken care of, there's going to be bigger destruction, dissatisfaction, and happening, which is going to cost me more money. If I got a drop of blood on the carpet and it's white carpet, how fast would you start cleaning that? If there was a white carpet down there and I dropped a little bit of blood, so I cut my finger on the carpet, how fast would I need to get to that side of that stain? Immediately, right? So I've got to find a way to make things that urgent when I'm inside the house. If I'm just talking about how we're going to make it feel better and do better and look better, there's no urgency there. Hey, this is really bad here, but here's what we're going to do to fix it. Band-Aid. This looks really bad. You know, oh my God, yeah, this looks like it has some damage inside here, but we're going to take care of it for you. Don't worry about a thing. Welcome to 20% closure. Okay? That's not, giving a solution right when you find the pain is not the direct thing to do. If you're doing that, stop it. Repeat that. If you're doing that, stop it. Hold on to that solution for a little bit. You didn't make anything drip because you're giving the Band-Aid. You're giving the Band-Aid. If you give the Band-Aid too early, it never hurts bad enough to move forward at the end. Make sense? So when I get that, John and Mary, sound like to me, you know, basically got a problem through here. From what you shared with me, how long has that been a problem? You know, geez, when did you first notice it? What were you doing when you noticed it? What have you done to try to fix it? How did that work and how long did it work? How much time and money did you spend doing that, right? Is there things you would rather been doing onto it, and how frustrated are you every time you look at it now? Does that think that's made it worse or made it better? Made it worse. So it sounds like to me, you've given up trying to fix this on your own, right? Especially knowing if this gets any worse, we could be down there in an E-wall. It's going to cost another $900 to $2,000, depending on what we have to do here. I mean, you got stucco work, you got framing, you got insulation, you got the paper, you got the chicken wire, you've got the finish coat, you've got the painting on the outside of it. You got all these things that have to happen. If something gets down there any further, I don't think you want to get into that kind of money, do you? Especially look how many windows are around there. If I take $900 to $2,000 per window, below every single window inside the house, that's going to get really expensive real quick, right? So I bet you would agree, before this gets any worse, we need to get this replaced, right? Gotta light it on fire, right? Then when you get that solution, you gotta check the box that the solution that we created during the measure and during the inspection is everything they were looking for plus more. Not just, you love my glass package, right? So what's gonna do is save you so much money out of utilities and my windows, my walls are on. It's cool, it's gonna save you money on my utilities, but that's not why I called you out. So thank you. Now that in addition to what you're gonna fix as far as the installation method goes, remember, if it doesn't address the fundamental reasons on why you're there, remember, it doesn't address the window if it's put in, doesn't address, or door put in, doesn't address the fundamental reasons, concerns on why you're there in the first place, you're wasting your time and money. Okay? And right now, gas is $4 a gallon, right? Right?
Yeah.
$4 a gallon.
Tell me where that is, and we'll go buy some.
$4.40 up where you're at, right? So you $4.40, $4.40 a gallon, right? You're driving your happy tails out to appointments today. As you're driving out to go to these appointments, and you're that mileage clicking around, right? I know I get so many miles a gallon, every gallon rolls by, there's $4, there's $6, there's $8, there's $16, there's $22, and whatever it might be. You look at that basic money racking up as you're going down into it, you're invested. We might be invested for $500,000, but you're invested every time you go out to that house. Your time, your energy, your kids' baseball games, softball games, your time away from your family, you're invested. So you might as well give 100% every time you're there and leave nothing on the table. And you people who think there's be-back bus, good luck. It doesn't exist. If it does, it's so marginal. It doesn't there. Don't get niced out of the house. Make sure we're setting it up in the beginning and creating that pain and urgency. So that way at the end we're successful. So is there anything besides price or pain that's going to keep us from getting started on your project today? Anything but a no's a lie. As long as you did your presentation. Make sense? Tie into the end. It is indecision that is the thief of opportunity. It is indecision that is the thief of opportunity. JC. It is indecision that is the thief of opportunity. When we look at that, what does that mean? How would we relay that today, and how do we prevent indecision? And don't tell me they're just difficult customers. No, you just didn't do what it took to sell them. How is indecision the thief of opportunity? And how do we prevent indecision from happening?
Let them know up front. You're gonna walk out with a yes or a no. There is no gray. It's black or white.
We can let them know on the front, but if you do a half-ass inspection, or you didn't create enough urgency, is that gonna be a big enough reason why they don't move forward? If they don't feel like they found 100% trust in the company, 100% trust in you, and you earned the credibility and the trust and created the urgency, everything matters. What I'm telling you is there's all these key decisions, right? Commitment to trust, commitment to resolution, commitment to need, right? Our commitment to value, our pre-flow, our get. If we screw up on one of those, just one, we get everything else perfect. We could have walked to the door, beautiful house, John and Mary. How long you owned it for? 8 years. Boy, it takes a stick of dynamite to get you out of here, right? Whoa, what'd you pick this house in this neighborhood? Blah, 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 blah. I didn't catch you on a ball or sock, and I did. Yeah, okay, great. So it sounds like to me, guys, we'll put you in a position to be looking at windows today. Well, look at this, this, and this. That sounds great. So it sounds like to me, basically, you called me out here, I guess we'll put you in a position. Well, the windows are leaky, they're old, they're inefficient. Okay, we just know they need to be replaced. Well, great, let's get up and go take a look at that real quick. Do you mind if we do? Great, hey, when you say old, leaky, and inefficient, what are you talking about on the window that you call old, leaky, and inefficient that make you say that? Well, it's here. Okay, great. So it sounds like to me that these windows need to be replaced, right? Good, move forward. Come down and sit down with the company. I trust the company with your hard-earned money. $1 your own hard-earned money. What would they need to do, or what would they need to show you the proof on why you would invest into that company? I want a company with longevity. It's going to be there to certified warranty. It's going to basically do what they say they're going to do. Well, great. Let me show you how exactly maybe we can meet that need, so we can shake hands and part friends now. Okay, let me tell you a little about DreamStyle, right? Here's our process. Here's our systems. Here's our liaison. Here's basically our project manager. Here's how we boost it. Here's our warranty and how we're different than others in the industry. John, I'm going to ask when it comes time, would you feel 100% confident trusting DreamStyle on your own? Yes. Great. Let me show you the product now. Okay, great. Now you talked about your windows being old, leaking, and inefficient. Let me show you the most important thing you're going to talk about, right? Hey, look at the weather stripping. Your current windows have no weather stripping, right? They say a 16th-inch gap around a normal 3x5 foot window is equivalent of a big brick missing out of the house. You told me earlier that if there's a brick missing out of the house, you can look right next door to the neighbors. How long would it take you to fix it? You said immediately. Let me show you what we've done to take care of that for you. Look at how we weather strip our window. Look at how it seals inside of here. The one thing about this Duracast material is it doesn't expand and contract like wood. It's not going to expand and contract like vinyl, so it's going to keep this thing nice and tight in the seal. Can you see how we've taken care of that problem for you? So that way you don't have to keep turning the air conditioner up or down to make a difference in the outside. Can you see how that part's taken care of? Great, now let's talk about conduction, which is one of the most important places, which is the glass. Matter of fact, I can't wait to show you this, but check out this operation real quick. See how we take the sash out, how nice and easy it moves, the welds inside of here, how it looks like painted wood. Now let's break out the glass pack, right? Oh my God, I think you're gonna love this, right? Glass has an insulation value of less than 1. Your door, or excuse me, your wall has an R value of about 12 to R15, right? So if we're trying to make our window work like our wall, we got a little bit of work to do, right? So again, let's talk about basically the glass pack in through here and what a difference this is going to make, right? So if I had 2 pieces of glass, knowing our glass has an R value less than 1, how well is those 2 pieces of glass going to work for me? And I got an R value of less than 2. Huh. So what do I have to do to correct that, right? So there's argon gas, there's different aspects in through here. There's the coatings on the glass that all make the difference. And if I don't make sure that this glass is doing what it needs to be doing, I'm throwing my money away. And do you feel like I'm saving money or costing myself money on my utility? So let me show you real quick about how this difference is going to make. Here's a chart, John and Mary. This chart right here is going to show you in the summer and winter months right here. After showing you what I showed you, and knowing our 90% argon gas, 10% nitrogen fill that we put inside this window, and what it's showing you right through here with the coatings, the sun defense glass, how much do you feel based on what you currently have in the house you would feel like you would save off utilities? Because remember earlier I asked you, if you paid $1,000 or $1,200 a month, you said, no, not that bad, $400. And you already said today, so you have $400 a month based on SDG&E being raised up 28%, your $400 utility bill would be minimum 519 bucks. $519 basically is $119 more a month than you're currently paying. Knowing you've already paid that for 4 years, 48 months, basically you've already paid $30-something thousand just to heat and cool your house, right? You're in your house another 120 months, which is 10 years. That's going to cost you another $60,000 to heat and cool your house based on the $519 a month. $60,000. Now to do something about it, you said that how much do you feel like we would save off utilities between 25 to 40%, which is what the experts tell you? Well, probably 35. So if we saved you 25, you'd still be happy, right? Yes. Great. Let me show you what that's going to do for you. Boom, I did all that right. Right? So let me ask you as far as the colors, designs, options, the reasons you call us out here today, and we taking care of all those things for you today with the window system we shared with you? Great. As far as saving utilities and doing all those things, have we picked out your right color choices, everything that's important to you guys? Yes, we have. Is there anything else in a window system you'd want that we haven't showed with you today? No. So it sounds like to me when it comes time, this is the window system you not only need to take care of all the problems you call us out here today, not to mention we found on the inspection with the installation, but it's also what you want too, right? Great. Now let's say, I fast forward, let's say I don't pre-close. So I get my commitment to value, I find my give to get, they tell me no, even though I did a massive presentation, did I serve the business? I tell you, you electrify like I was doing right through there, be electrifying in the house, exciting, basically transfer emotion creates emotion. Big things happen. That's probably better than 90% of the presentations in this room. I'm not being a prick about it, but I've just done this a long time. So again, if I miss my pre-close, anything except today, Cameron Mary said a price or payment, going to keep us moving forward today. If I forget that, I've left the door so freaking wide open that there's no purpose on why I should close that deal. I have lost my order because I did not do what I needed to do. I left that door open and just threw myself in the trash. Because now what I did, I just worked my butt off for basically an hour and a half to 3 hours, to basically give that deal to somebody else cheaper. Look at it. An hour and a half to 3 hours of my time invested because I missed one single freaking step that I know the difference for because I did not do what I needed to do in the house to be successful. Make sense? You got the tools, you got the resources, you got me, you got Mark, you got each other. Use it. It makes sense? Sorry to get all crazy, but results last month drove me crazy, right? Because to me, I don't feel like we did everything we could do to be successful. And that drives me nuts. That drives me crazy. When excuses become bigger than our results, I won't put up with it. But again, I want to make sure we're doing everything we can do to be successful. If you can't come up and do a presentation like that and then know it off the top of your head, I'm not in the car every day like you guys. I'm not out there practicing every single day getting better. I'm getting worse rather than better. So when you look at it, I want to be the worst guy in this entire room. I want to be the worst guy in this entire room. And the purpose is because I believe wholeheartedly in my heart that indecision is truly the thief of opportunity. Make sense? Got your attention? Good. Because now we need to get on the board. And we'd have a month like we've never had, in a long time, because we got to make sure that we're taking care of the people that take care of us. We're taking care of our installers, our staff, of the people that we need to, our customers, our families. We're putting the money in the bank account that we deserve to have. We're doing the things that we need to be doing because we have the tools and resources to do it. We have more options, more colors, more choices. We got finance options. By the way, I couldn't be more proud of this team. Our finance rate right now is 74%. From basically 48 that it was the month before. So again, you see the difference in what our revenue per lead, our average sale, our volume is done just based on that 1% alone. Going from 48 to 70, over 70%, that's a big fact. Congratulations. Now we have the tools, we got the resources, we can do it. Do you guys believe it? Do you believe you can do it? I believe you can do it. I think we've got the best damn crew, best team here that we could ever assemble. This is the major leagues. Now it's up to us to make sure we go out this week and don't stumble. We got to make sure we're basically feeling what we need to be doing every single day. All right, let's do day and get out of here. So with that, I love you guys. I want to make sure that we are doing what we need to be doing to be successful. And again, at the end of it, Mark, you got a couple people that want to stay back and see. But on that day, let's hoot it and get on out. So, who do you think gonna beat SoCal? No. Have a good day, guys. Float it over in the air.
Another good meeting, Dustin. Good
Yeah,
job.
thanks, Dustin.
Right. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Can I take one of these for myself?
Yeah. You're exactly what.
Rainbow color.
There you go.
You're exactly where I wanted.
Oh, that's a good one. These are great for the kids. It's like, where's Jody? She loves these things. So the wrong texture?
Yeah.